start the recording
Archon's suddenly online.
and switch over to this
Talk about
map.
timing.
Okay, so hopefully I did all that right in OBS, but if not, oh well. So yeah, welcome back, guys, to our 15th session of Ophion. I just have a few quick kind of what is this on the screen you're seeing type announcements. The first that you might notice is there is a big old Starfleet symbol in the bottom right corner of everyone's screen on Roll20. That is something I have unabashedly stole from another Star Trek Adventures game that I play in. Basically, those are your momentum counters. You just hit you just kind of mouse over, you go to draw, you draw how many momentum you need, and then over your token, you'll basically have the equivalent of X number of cards. And to get rid of momentum, you click on the symbol above your name, you drag the momentum onto the map, and then you should have the ability to delete it as well. And that way we have more of a visual representation of momentum, and that way it's maybe a little bit easier on Beckett, and it'll help us sync up. The other announcement is I can't show you the screen yet because of spoilers. Oh,
One sec.
There's Mirthrin. I hear Mirthrin. I hear his bird at least. Yep, that's Mirthrin. Hi, Mirthrin. But as I was saying, so the other kind of announcement is I actually redid the entire Starship combat page, and you'll see what I did when we actually get to that page.
Okay, I have sound.
Yes, hi Mirthrin, can you hear us?
Yep.
Excellent. You didn't miss much. I just gave an explanation of the momentum counters.
Cool.
But, unless anyone has any announcements of their own, let's get this show on the road. Captain, if you would be so kind.
Captain's log, stardate 55050.5. Admiral Thesso has given Starfleet's approval to work with Commander Vetu in finding and taking the Trilithium warheads out. If it's true that the Tal Shiar are falling out of favor with the new Romulan Senate, then Starfleet and the Federation has much to gain and little to lose in this operation. We have returned to the Badlands and have begun liaising with Commander Vetu, who has shared with us a trove of intelligence about the current post-war state of the Romulan Star Empire. Zareed has been poring over all of the evidence and has come to a similar conclusion about the current affairs. It seems that not even the current Romulan government wants these torpedoes, but cannot risk the political fallout of a direct strike. I guess it'll be up to us. End log.
All right, excellent. So before we jump into the main first scene, did anyone have any lingering bits of RP they wanted to handle? I don't know, maybe Mirthrin talking with Matic, or, something like that. Something fluffy.
Can't think of anything.
Okay.
Locke is just running around getting the components ready for the asteroid, not knowing what's going on in the bridge.
Much of the captain's time will be spent in secure subspace communication with the Romulan commander, hashing out a plan.
Okay. All right, then let us start our main scene. So I will put you guys on this map. So shouldn't be too much of a surprise, but basically a extended senior staff meeting is called. And this meeting is specifically for presenting the quote-unquote Vetu Skal plan. And as everyone filters in, finds their seats, the place is pretty packed. There's only one spare seat, and that's because probably Beckett didn't bring along Vara. So at the head are, of course, Commander Vetu and Captain Skal, and this is still in the Ophion, Beckett. This is still you guys in the Badlands, kind of meeting on the Ophion to go over the plan from here forward. So Vetu and Skal kind of at the front of the room. Behind them is this very large view screen, and Vetu just kind of looks at Skull, waiting for him to call everyone to a point of order.
All right. Before roleplay and captain's lectures start, I'm just going to make a note that the quantum sensors information has not been shared with the Romulans, so I'm just going to refer to them as our enhanced sensor array or something similar.
Okay.
Just let's see. I'll wave everyone, call everyone's attention to this nice shiny tactical screen. Thank you all for coming. I realize that this is a much larger staff briefing than we're used to, and I will try to keep it quick. And there will be, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. By now, you've all had a brief. You've all been introduced to Commander Vetu of the Romulan Star Empire. She has been very generous in the intelligence that she has given us regarding the current state of the Romulan Star Empire. Long story short, currently, Praetor Huron has ascended on a post-war message of rebuilding the Romulans' military and is attempting to strengthen ties with the Klingons and the Federation. Naturally, this has led him to fall out of favor with the Tal Shiar. And it seems that there is a lot of political infighting going on. One of the other things which will probably come into play is many of you have caught wind previously of Mr. Spock's Mr. Spock's attempts to further the unification of Romulus and the Vulcan people. It seems that this underground movement has gained strength during the war, as the Tal Shiar's attention has been focused elsewhere with their losses to the Dominion. So, Vetu has made mention. Commander Vetu here has told us that there is a Romulan double agent within the Tal Shiar, who has ties to this Vulcan underground and wants to see the Tal Shiar crumble as much as the Senate currently does. If we don't know who this double agent is, we do know that there is a command phrase that could activate this agent. I'll share that with Lieutenant Commander Panek and Commander Beckett in due course. Much of this warhead information is thanks to this agent's bravery. I'm going to tap the screen and it'll move to a nearby solar system. Roughly 5 days from now, these warheads are going to be moving through the Cora system. Cora 2 is apparently a small Tal Shiar outpost. Those of you who have been keeping up to date with astropolitics may realize that this system was once Cardassian. The Romulans have sequestered it into their empire. Whether or not there are friendly elements on the surface or in the system is as of yet unknown. There are 3 Diderotix class warbirds. Tap, tap, tap. One of it, there are 2 warheads, one on each vessel, leaving one to be a decoy or additional muscle. They're all going to be stopping by this system for refueling and some standard repairs and crew replenishment. In a perfect world, we could strike them at this station. The problem is many of the Cardassian weapon emplacements are still in place. We'll have to catch them either as they enter in system or out of system. My notes don't specify anything, GM. Is there any sort of astral phenomenon such as nebulae, dense asteroid fields, etc.?
Actually, this is a good time for Vetu to chip in. So Vetu nods and says, in addition, there is a small Oort cloud that is beyond the 4 inner planets. It prevents going to warp, or at least limits warp speed to minimal levels until you have cleared the cloud. This would be an optimal place to strike if we so wish to do so.
Pinnacle will motion that Teddy has a question.
Absolutely.
I infer that we have received the location of this base via your embedded agent. Do we have any leads on as to their eventual targets with these trilithium warheads?
Vetu shakes her head and says, unfortunately, the agent isn't privy to that sort of information. Really, we got lucky. The agent just happened to be stationed on the ships carrying the warheads. So either it's the real deal, as you humans and Federation like to say, or we're walking into a trap.
Yeah, I agree that there is a distinct possibility that we are being double bluffed. The Tal Shiar are notorious for that. I, for one, would not want to play poker against any of them. But on the other hand, this is the best way to rid the Federation of this potential threat, and hopefully gain some points with the Romulan Star Empire in the process. Let's see. Anything else in my notes here that is of use? Yeah, so the main problem will be getting into the system. The intelligence does not make any note of what listening devices may be keeping an eye on the system's perimeter. We may have to enter piecemeal in order to slip by sensor gaps, or we'll have to use Lieutenant Locke, Lieutenant Murthrin, and Lieutenant Commander John Maddox's expertise in causing gremlins to appear in the Romulan systems. Needless to say, we're going to have to strike fast and disable all 3 of these Romulan vessels. Commander Vetu has graciously agreed to lend the aid of her vessel and crew to assist where we're needed, but I understand that she risks being, or she would like it that we make the first strike instead of the first attack coming from a fellow Romulan ship. So my suggestion is that we break the ship into 3, strike all 3 Romulan vessels simultaneously, and then Miss Vetu here can swoop in, attempt to activate the agent, and we can identify where the torpedoes specifically are.
So Vetu actually, she doesn't so much sneer as she just kind of raises a Romulan eyebrow is how I would qualify it, and she says, "This is a point your captain has debated me on much. To me, my objective here is to get the information that the double agent has, and then, frankly, to be on our way. However, your captain has convinced me. I'll get to you in a moment, Beckett. Your captain has convinced me that we should stick around in the interests of all parties involved, and I'm actually in agreement. However, of course, you Federation types can decide differently, but once we have control of the warheads, our job is done in my eyes. If that means leaving the agent behind, then so be it."
I'll just scowl a bit at that, but not make a comment. Yes, Mr. Beckett.
Do we happen to know how close any type of backup would be to us in case there's more than these 3 ships?
Alas, on the Federation side, there's no backup. The Alexandra and the Kodiak left 3 days ago on their regular scheduled convoy duty. The Defiant is picking up our slack in the Sabine Expanse, and the nearest Federation vessel won't be here for another week and a bit. So it's going to be, by the time we get reinforcements from Starfleet's side, these ships will have moved on and the torpedoes will be lost.
Captain,
Yes.
once we engage the outpost and its contingent of warbirds, they will undoubtedly move to escape with the warheads. I believe it would be advantageous if the commander and her warbird waited outside to disable any retreating ships, which will undoubtedly be carrying the warhead.
Now, agreed. There are two possibilities once we engage. The first is that they will attempt to fall back to the outpost's defensive weapons, in which case I propose striking them after they enter the Oort cloud and they lose the ability to make warp jumps. Likewise, they could attempt just to flee system, in which case I believe that would be the best place for Commander Vetu to stay, would be just out system side of the Oort cloud.
Can I propose an extremely risky and dangerous maneuver?
This is Starfleet. That's kind of what we do.
If we position the Ophion inside the hollow area of the commander's Derridex ship, they could cloak around us, and we should be inside their cloaking field, which would allow us to get right up to the base without being detected. And we just need to fly out of their ship.
I'm just going to look at Vetu and raise an eyebrow. Is that feasible?
That dude just kind of looks alarmed at that, because both as a GM and as her, I'm like, can that work?
We are simply small enough. The difference would be we'd have to completely match velocities and trajectories, otherwise we'd collide.
Or
And
what
we'd
about...
also have to do some pretty creative masking of our energy signatures, because this ship is not designed to cloak.
What about the captain's yacht? That new shuttle we just picked up.
I see where you're going with this, Commander.
Outfit it with something to mask its sensors. It should be a lot easier to do, being it's a heck of a lot smaller than the Ophion is, or even one part of the Ophion. Just saying.
Mr. Panek, we still have that tri-cobalt device you rigged up, correct?
I believe so. The one we rigged together to destroy the... Oh, and then he looks at Veto and says, yes, I believe we do still have it.
That dude just looks very questioningly at Skull. A tri-cobalt device.
It was. We had run across a large structure, we had ended up coming upon a large debris field of neutronium that was threatening a nearby planet. We created a tri-cobalt device in the event we could not find a way to divert the neutronium. Thankfully, we were able to do so at the last minute, and so the tri-cobalt device has not been used.
Let's get you guys some momentum, possibly. Go ahead and roll me a presence plus command or con. Either one would fit here. And this is just basically how well you're good at bullshitting.
Okay. Let's see here. Command plus con. Presence plus command. Would diplomacy count as a focus here? Bullshitting as a focus.
Yeah, I was going to say bullshitting would be the focus here, or deception.
Okay, just diplomacy, no applicable focus.
Okay. And then just to see what the Romulan commander rolls, let's see what she gets. Oh, yeah, that's a complication. She doesn't know shit. She thoroughly believes your story. She doesn't even really poke holes in the fact you may have stumbled a little bit on your words.
She's just lost.
I mean, what's she going to say? I suspect you found a doomsday machine.
We'll say for sake of argument, she's probably still kind of reeling from the shock that you wanted to put the Ophion in the middle of her ship. So she's like, this, what, typical Federation thinking kind of a thing.
Okay. If it's unfeasible for the Ophion to hide within the Romulan vessel, what about rigging up the tricobalt device to the Argo and doing the same thing?
I'm sure with the help of Mr. Manic and Merthyr, it's certainly feasible.
Very well. Senior Chief Hylong and
At the
Matic.
very least, it would serve as a useful method of knocking out a ship attempting to warp out of system.
Agreed. We only get one shot. Mr. Matic, Miss Hylong, are either of you good, skilled pilots?
Matic just shakes his head. Just no. I can build ships. I've made plenty of prototypes. Flying it? Mm-mm. Want to get my old first officer for that.
Hylong also shakes her head and says, I mean, obviously I can basically fly a shuttle, but in combat, no, you'll want someone else. But if I may propose an idea.
By all means.
Actually, two ideas. The first is we could attempt to realign the quantum plasma controller to match a Romulan subspace disturbance field. Obviously, if someone were to look out a window, they'd see us, but to anyone on long-range scans, we might be able to mask as a Derek's class.
So you're suggesting we play sensor dress up with the Ophion?
Something like that, yes. And then she looks at Matic, and she leans over and whispers. So the rest of you can't hear this, but Matic will. But I'm not going to drag him into a room. So Matic, she leans and then says, "Can we tell them about the incursion?"
Which incursion?
The USS incursion, which, if you're not familiar, was the hollow ship in Star Trek Adventures, or it's not Star Trek Adventures, Starfleet Armada 2, if I remember correctly.
Oh, that thing, the ship that came back through time?
No, that was the Premonition. The again, this
is that
is
also the one that was in the movie?
Might.
No, that one was unnamed, I think.
No.
Yeah.
Oh. There is the drone ship from Star Trek Enterprise.
There's also that, yes. There basically what Hylong is going to communicate is.
Okay, I remember seeing that now.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So she's going to communicate the fact that maybe you guys could play hollow dress up. I mean, the technology has been there for quite a while.
And we do have quite a few spare emitters. Yeah, if we pull out all the emitters on, say, decks 3, 4, and 5, we could definitely outright wrap them around the ship.
Okay.
That would still beg the question that this outpost and this contingent of warbirds are not expecting 2 other warbirds to suddenly decloak. There will be questions raised.
Hopefully the time it takes them to ask them will give us enough time to knock out their communication arrays.
I don't believe that we should hit them at the outpost. It's just too heavily guarded. The weapons on the surface-based and space-based weaponry that outpost boasts is very potent. I believe that the best case would be to strike the warbird convoy as they pass through the Oort cloud and lose optimal contact with the outpost.
So Vetu coughs very politely and says, "If that is the case, then we need to get working almost immediately upon how to mask the Ophion's trail into Romulan territory. Of course, I believe there's been several interesting ideas here, but I think it's time for me to return to my ship and begin my own preparations." So she nods and says, "Captain,
Commander,
Ophion crew," and then she steps out. And a security officer will, of course, meet her outside and escort her to a transporter pad. But you now at least no longer have a Romulan commander in the room.
Matic stands up. Captain?
Yes.
It's the Tal Shiar. How do we know that they don't have a double agent on her ship?
in all honesty, we don't. This is a very risky operation.
Have we fully vetted her? Is she confirmed to not be Tal Shiar?
I'm just going to look at Murthrin. Mr. Murthrin, I realize it's not your strong suit. Were you able to... You spent enough time with her over the last couple days. What do you believe?
Thinks about it. Do I need to do any rolls here, or?
Yeah, and also you guys do have one momentum. It was a difficulty 0 roll, so let's have one person track momentum rather than several. So who wants to be the lucky person?
I will.
Okay.
I was going to say not it. I've done it for 14 episodes.
All right. Yeah, that shows up. It's a little bit weird because of the stacking of names, but it's all right. Where was I going with this? Yes. So, Murthrin, if you want to roll me we'll call this an insight and security roll.
Mm-hmm.
And the difficulty will be a 1.
Alrighty. Do I want to try just doing it with the 2 dice?
That's up to you.
No. I probably do want to be sure about this. I'll spend a momentum to make it 3. Because
Okay.
I don't have any focuses here. No, just
You get the momentum back.
That'd be nice.
Okay, yeah, so Murthrin, of course, reading a Romulan mind is different from, say, a Vulcan mind or a human mind. It's a very guarded experience. The Romulans, to put it bluntly, like to keep secrets, and they're very good at it. However, you haven't picked up anything that would suggest foul play or that she has some sort of hidden agenda. She seems to have, for a Romulan at least, been very honest and forthright.
Yeah. So Murthrin sort of thinks about it for a bit and says, well, I believe she's being straightforward with us. If there is an agent on her ship, she isn't aware of it.
However, given her involvement with this underground movement, the chances of a Tal Shiar agent being planted on her crew are highly likely.
Agreed. Still, our first mission objective is to take those torpedoes out of play. If there is fallout if the commander suffers problems for it, we'll try our best to help her because that's what we do. She's given us enough intel. She's given us more intel in the last 2 days than Starfleet intelligence has gained in the last 2 years. But she knew the risk coming to us, so...
Is there any information we could give her that would not severely compromise her if her ship wasn't compromised, but would potentially mess the Tal Shiar over if they did have that information? Like, telling them we're going to zig when we're actually going to zag, so to speak.
I mean, let's say that this operative knows that we're coming here. Maybe it accidentally gets leaked that this is a distraction while a joint operation with Klingon Federation and Romulans are attacking somewhere else.
I think that's a bit too much of a stretch.
From experience, you always have to assume that any information you've shared is compromised and proceed accordingly. But you cannot, once you start assuming that they know that you know that you know, it all falls apart. You just have to always assume that what's going to happen is not going to happen, work, and have a backup in place, but more than one redundancy, and it's just too much.
I agree with the lieutenant's logical assessment. We must proceed as planned, whether or not they know.
Agreed. Let's see. Chief Maddock and Lieutenant Commander Maddock and Chief Hylong, please work with Lieutenant Locke in doing what you need to do with our holographic systems. in order to make us appear Romulan, if even for a couple minutes. Mr. Murthrin, if you could please somehow figure out how to make the Ophion run even silenter than she already does, that would be greatly appreciated. Let's see.
It should be doable.
Yeah. Chief.
The Derridex class is beginning to show its age.
Chief Prag, please outfit the Argo shuttle to launch a tricobalt device. I'd like to place Lieutenant Lindholm in that seat. I believe that she was a decent enough pilot to stay under the cloak, and her tactical ability should allow us to launch that charge where it will do the most damage.
Aye, sir. I can certainly do that.
Miss Shatsu, if it looks like these Romulans are going to cloak and we're going to lose them, we may need to take the fight to the Romulans on their ship in order to properly dispose of these torpedoes. As loath as I am to risk boarding parties in such an action, please double your team's training with ship-to-ship boarding actions. And Mr. Locke, if at some point you could prepare more of those probes for a passive cloaking interference system, that might be a good idea. Are there any questions, ladies and gentlemen?
On the shuttle real quick, Captain.
Yes.
Back on the Arcadia, I built a shuttle that could be remote piloted. Is it possible that we may have enough time for me to set up a similar system on this shuttle, and we could just drone this thing into them instead of possibly sacrificing someone?
We have 5 days, Lieutenant.
You have 5 days and already some decent amount of hollow work ahead of you, Lieutenant Commander. I'll leave that up to you. Can you do it?
I've done worse with less time, so I'll see what I could do, but obviously I'll put the hollow projectors on priority.
Very well.
Captain, since we are still, I believe, still in the Badlands by the Nausicaa base, I would like to at least beam down really quickly and plant the tracking device I've been working on.
Of course. Of course. I'm assuming there's been no other activity near the tracking base or near the smuggler's base there, GM?
Nope, nothing going on.
Very well.
All right.
All right. You all have your orders. We have 5 days. Dismissed.
All right. So
Cue the montage.
Yeah. So the way we're going to handle the montage is we're going to do an extended task, which, we've done a few, but as a reminder, for those at home that want to keep track, this particular one is going to be a work track of 12, a magnitude of 4, and a base difficulty of 3. Because we have so many different kinds of things going into this montage, I'm going to try to rotate it around. So for the hollow emitter sort of operation, I'm going to say that that's probably closer to a daring plus engineering. Murthrin trying to make the ship a little bit quieter might also be daring plus engineering, but it could also be control plus engineering, or maybe even a reason plus engineering, or maybe even a reason plus science. But you get the idea. But I do want to do it one at a time rather than, everyone just shotgunning rolls. Go ahead.
Quick question. Would it be easier for him to basically copy the energy signature of the Romulan ship? So that way, whenever it's, instead of it just running silent or quiet, because whenever we show up, if we're still running a Federation signal, but would it be possible for him to alternate it somewhat to where it reads somewhat Romulan, even though we use matter, antimatter, and they use black holes, basically? and their warp drives?
It is possible, but we'll have to see what happens with this extended task.
Okay.
So yeah, which one of the actors here, Locke, Murthrin, Matic, etc., which one of you would like to go first?
Alright, I will start.
Okay. Remember, Murthrin, since you are the chief engineer of the Ophion, you automatically reduce the difficulty of all engineering-related tasks by 1, so your difficulty is only a 2.
Useful. Reason plus engineering. I think ship power systems would be an applicable focus here.
Most definitely.
Alright, let's see what I can get with a base roll. No momentum spent.
When you
Good
get a
start.
momentum is what you get. So Murthrin, you do your best to basically invert certain things, realigning some power distribution nodes, lots of little things that, when added together, would fool a long-range sensor scan of the Ophion. And to anyone, longer range, you look like a warbird, or at least that's what you think, anyways. It's hard to tell what another ship's, scanning at any moment. But yeah, let's roll for your work. That would be 7 challenge die in your instance.
Alrighty. Now let me find that macro. There we go. 7, is it?
Yep. Okay. So off the top of my head, you can spend one of the momentum you just got, and you could make those effects count as extra work, if I remember that chart correctly.
That sounds like a good plan.
Okay. Which is good, because that's 1 breakthrough then, and that's a lot of the track filled. That's 7 work out of 12. And it also knocks down the base difficulty for everyone else.
He did spend a momentum.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
So down to 1.
So yeah, as I said, Murthrin does a bang-up job making the Ophion look Romulan from sensors. Excuse me. Who would like to go next?
I remember a few things from that time I helped repair a singularity core.
Ah, yes, the station. Ah, yes.
R.I.P.
Is the difficulty still 3?
No, the difficulty is now only a 2.
Alright. Locke, unless you want to go?
Nope. After you.
Alright. So I guess I'm working on either the hollow projectors or making the shuttle a drone.
Mm-hmm.
So which one would be which?
I'd say the hollow emitters are most definitely going to be daring plus engineering. The drone, I'm going to say that's probably more control plus engineering, because you've done this before.
Alright.
And if you do the ship, Hylong will assist, and if you do the hollow emitters, Prag will assist.
Is anyone else doing the hollow emitters, or is it?
I think that was assigned to that.
Yeah, I think it was Matic and Locke that the captain specifically said, "Hey, you guys do this."
Alright. I'm gonna work on the ship for this roll then. So
Okay.
control engineering, prototype engineering count as a focus?
I'd say you're probably out of the prototype at this stage. You're just making what would be, for you, a fairly standard linked communications array.
So would quantum mechanics work?
Tempting. Sure, you know what? Why not? Why not?
Okay. I think it was called like a quantum entanglement controller or something like that. So
Yeah, basically we're using the Mass Effect 2 technology with the Elusive Man and the Normandy. Yeah. It's I forget what it is. The quantum entangled Was it a molecule, an atom? I don't remember.
Yeah, 2 entangled particles.
Yeah. Anyways, if you would be so kind as to go ahead and roll, we'll see. We'll see what you get. All right, you get the successes you need. Would someone like to roll for Hylong?
See how long anything.
She should be under guest characters.
Maybe I'm the only one who's here. What's she rolling?
She's going to help you with her own control plus engineering.
Okay.
That's odd. You guys should be able to see her.
Yeah, I see her now. I wasn't looking at the guest characters.
Ah.
Are we sure she's not a ghost?
Ghost character.
All right, so you do get a momentum. Very good. Yeah, Matic, you rig up a pretty standard kind of dedicated communications relay, hook it up to the Argo shuttle's main computer, and do a bypass link on the main bridge that would allow for remote piloting of the Argo shuttle. Go ahead and let's do your challenge die roll for the work done. The difficulty, or not the difficulty, the number of challenge die is also going to be 7 because your engineering is also a 5. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 because I have in the nick of time.
Okay.
I could spend a momentum and re-roll those zeros.
Well, let's put it this way. You already have 7 work done, and the work track's only a 12. So even with just that 5 before your talent, you would already get 2 breakthroughs on this.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you do a bang-up job of getting this thing ready to go. And I'll say you accomplish it quick enough that you do one of the Scotty maneuvers where you say, Captain, it's going to take 6 hours, and you do it in 2. I feel like we did this before either on Ophion or the Arcadia. I forget which one of you guys did it. I think it was the Ophion. Yeah, it was the Ophion because you guys were messing with the sensors. But yeah, that's that. So at this point, it's a difficulty 0 roll, and it's just whoever's left. I think Locke is the only one left at this point.
Play with the hollow emitters.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to say, how do I want to handle this? I would say probably a control plus science for this, unless you have a good argument for something else.
I'd say engineering, actually. I'm not as good at it, but it makes more.
Sure. If you don't mind taking the hit, let's do it.
Seems more wiring things together. Difficulty 0, so I'm not going to buy an extra dice and live dangerously. Gadgeteering is a focus.
Sure. Hey, you get a momentum. And you don't need to roll any challenge die. Well, roll me at least 6 challenge die, and hopefully they're not all zeros.
Was Prague assisting?
Prague would assist, yes. Alright, so I'll roll for Prague. Where's Prague? There he is.
Fish for extra momentum.
Yeah, I was going to say. Engineering. He does have a focus. There you go. No, unfortunately, he does not assist. But hey, that's 2 more momentum at least. So I think you guys are up to 4.
4, yeah.
So yeah, you basically do I would qualify this as like the Starfleet intelligence kind of makeover. You call upon your years of experience with Starfleet intelligence, and you more or less in conjunction with Murthrin's work with the signal and masking, you make it so that even when someone looks out the window or scans at short range, you're pretty sure, I would say like 75 to 85% sure that to anyone that doesn't like physically contact your ship, will think you're a Romulan warbird.
Okay, Captain. There's a 90% chance. As long as they don't touch us or ram us, we'll be mistaken for warbird. Maybe 80%. Possibly 75, but...
Locke, you should have stopped at 90. But I thank you for giving me a realistic expectations. Out of curiosity, what is the chance that this could spontaneously manifest into a 350 meter tall Klingon that asks if we need medical attention?
We might want to limit access to the holodeck commands to the bridge, just so someone doesn't accidentally go into the holodeck and trigger a training program.
A wise precaution.
I'm not sure I completely isolated the circuits. And the
We are
safety
running-
protocols might also be on, so we might want to double check that before we fire phasers.
Noted. Please do so.
Bless you.
Gesundheit.
Alright, so needless to say, montage was a success, and you guys achieved it so quickly that you actually gained some time. So, not to, speed things up too much, but I will say that you have about a day and a half, it's a day and a half to 2-day travel to the Chorus system. Is there anything you guys want to accomplish during that time that isn't obviously part of the montage? Or should we skip ahead a bit?
I'd like to stop by sickbay.
Okay, sure. Let me find where sickbay is. There's sickbay. Skull's not there. So yeah, you step on into sickbay.
Are you sure? Skull is everywhere.
Commander, am I interrupting?
Of course not, XO. What can I do for you?
I believe you go off duty in exactly 3 minutes and 27 seconds. Would you be amenable to joining me in the duck for a drink?
Well, I was planning to work some overtime, but sure, I'll meet you in the duck.
Very well, Commander. And then I'll step out and go meet him at the duck.
Okay.
Before I leave sickbay,
Uh-huh.
I will tell Vara, very deadpan, and I will look at Vara and I will tell her, if I do not make it out of this and I have slashing scars on my body, know that the XO feels that I'm a better training partner to get ready for his second loss to our guest. And then I will just walk out the door, still deadpan.
Vara, as you walk out, Vara, loses composure and giggles like a schoolgirl. She finds it immensely amusing. But yeah, you guys are now in the duck, and Locke isn't there. Where's Panek? Panek. There's Panek. So yeah, you meet in the duck.
Thank you for joining me, Commander. Would you like a drink?
I could always use a drink, yes.
I'll wave the hollow bartender over, because no doubt we have one of those.
Yeah, you do. It happens to be a Nausicaan of all things.
Suddenly the ship becomes a 300-foot Nausicaan.
Luckily not. But yeah, the Nausicaan bartender just kind of raises an eyebrow and waits for you to make your drink order.
Vulcan spiced tea, please.
Synthale.
All right. So walks over to the replicator, enters in your order, comes back with a flagon and a mug, and sets it down in front of each of you.
I'll just sip mine and look at Beckett for a little bit.
Well, if you wanted to ask me out on a date, we could have done it at the station instead of in our own ship. And I'll just look at him and blink a few times.
Either you are misinterpreting the situation or are attempting humor, Commander.
Well, you're sitting there very awkwardly, very quiet, like someone on their first date.
I find myself wishing to not let words go unsaid, Commander. We are on the eve of a battle, and I have found that some things do not always go to plan, and you do not get the chance to speak with people afterwards that you wish you could still. I wanted to apologize to you for my comment about the human condition being a medical affliction.
Well, apology accepted. Care to apologize for anything else?
I would indeed like to apologize for the pranks, as they are colloquially known, that I have played upon you and your staff.
Well, again, apology accepted. I'm glad that you showed the maturity to tell me what I already knew, that you were the one behind all of them. And it shows you are wise beyond your years.
If we both make it out of this, Commander, I think it would be wise and better for us to get to know each other a little better.
I think so too.
And then I'll just go back to drinking my tea, and I guess, have you had a chance to speak to Senior Chief Hailong? I understand you have an interest in xenobiology.
I do, but since she has been here, other things have been more pressing.
Considering that we might not all make it back from this, you should probably make time.
Possibly, but I also now have 3 ships worth of medical crew that some of them haven't had complete training that I need to get ready for the fact that we are taking 1 ship against 3 ships in 3 separate directions.
Of course, Commander, your duty comes first.
As always.
Alright.
And I'll finish the Synthale and then excuse myself and head off.
Right as your flagon hits the table, both of your comm badges chirp. Scalda, Beckett, and Mr. Panek,
Panek here, Captain.
please report to my ready room if you guys are not busy.
I'll raise an eyebrow to Beckett, and then on our way, Captain.
Alright, so
And as we leave the duck, I will pat the statue of the duck on the head and leave to head to the ready room.
as is tradition, you must always pat the head of the duck.
Yes.
Let's see, where's Murthrin? There's Murthrin. He's tiny. Let's fix that.
Tiny Murthrin. Or Tiny Beckett.
Alright. Yeah, there we go. Alright, so Beckett and Panek, you step into Skull's ready room.
Gentlemen, I know you all have other things to do. I'll just be very brief. I had each of them the duty assignments. Mr. Panek, for the upcoming fight, you'll be on Beta section, and Mr. Beckett, unless there is an immediate medical crisis, in which case I expect you to, of course, do what you need to do. But you'll be in command of Gamma section. Mission parameters are to shoot to disable the Romulan warbirds. If we're able to bring their shields down and teleport their quantum warheads out, that would, I believe, would be the safest course of action, and the one that would lead to the less loss of life on both sides.
Yes, Captain.
Yes. Also, in regards to the Romulan double agent, should the need arise, the command phrase to recognize the agent, and I'm just going to look at Panek. I think we can thank Spock for this one because the command phrase is infinite diversity in infinite combinations.
Quite a mouthful, but I think we can make it work.
Yeah. IDIC, I suppose IDIC would work as well. I highly doubt it's a phrase Romulans speak to each other willingly.
If we are planning to beam aboard the Trilithium warheads, Captain, there is a potential that they could have been sabotaged, just in case.
Oh, I'm
We
not
would
planning
need-
on beaming them aboard, Mr. Panek. I'm planning to beam them somewhere into space where we can dismantle them at a safe distance.
I see. Very good.
I do not want those things on my ship.
Captain, one quick question.
Absolutely.
Seeing as how Gamma Shift doesn't really have someone to act as a chief engineer for our section of the ship, if it would be okay with both of you, looking at both of them and gesturing, I'd like to take a chance and take Zenixia. I feel that in a pinch that in the few days that we have left, she can learn how to do quite a few different fields quickly enough to act as a jack of all trades when it comes to engineering or anything that is involved in that.
I believe that to be a fair requisition. And I would like to place Mr. Maddock on beta section, out of character.
I have
The quantum
Bragg on.
sensors are on alpha section, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to place him on alpha section where the quantum sensors are, just in case.
I will make the appropriate changes to their battle stations and duty stations.
Thank you, Mr. Panek.
Then if that's the case and we were splitting up our two guests, with Lindholm piloting the shuttle, if Commander Maddock doesn't get it to be remote controlled, I am also losing my tactical and head of security.
Actually, I believe that's not a concern. Mr. Maddock just sent me an update saying that he believes that the Argo is perfectly capable of flying.
Oh, wonderful. As long
And,
as when we're done with this, it doesn't end up flying itself back to the Institute, I think we'll be good.
Now, considering that the...
Sorry, go ahead.
Considering that the Argo was just recently released for mass production, I don't think the Institute has much interest in them. And alternatively, now that we're going to be flying this into battle, I'm thinking about renaming it to be the Valkyrie.
How very Scandinavian of you.
I mean, there's just nothing in Trill. The Trill history is quite peaceful for the last roughly 1,000 years. There's no really cool names for flying flying warriors.
I understand. I would also bring up that when we're done with this, maybe something for you to look into is look into Scandinavian culture, especially with your symbiote's name.
Speaking of the Daystrom Institute, gentlemen, I've received a report that Lieutenant Commander John Maddock has accessed personal logs as well as the official ship's logs in regards to the Andromeda portal we found in the Sabine Expanse.
Yes. He came to me during the first few days of his visit, and he is very much aware of, or he has been cleared to know about the existence of the portal. He wouldn't tell me. I suspect that the Daystrom Institute has plans of their own. I'm just going to give Commander Beckett a knowing glance and. But
Wonderful.
But he seems to agree with me on my stance that if any of those things come through the portal, then that portal is going to go away.
Very welcome, Captain. I was just apprising you of what I know.
I appreciate that, Mr. Panek. But I will ask him
Beckett
of
doesn't
that.
say anything, just slowly shakes his head.
All right.
If there's nothing else, gentlemen, we all have lots of stuff to do before we reach the Kohler system.
Aye, sir.
Aye, Captain. I'll go wake up Lindholm.
Thank you.
All right. Any other scenes people want to get out of the way?
I'd like to have a brief scene with the captain in his ready room.
Okay, sure. Where is your token? Also not on this map for whatever reason.
I don't think he and I have actually spent time on this map.
I don't think so. Yep. All right, so there's Locke.
Mr. Locke, what
Captain,
brings you by?
I've just finished some work on the holo sensors. I want to give you an update on the tracking device we're working on.
Oh yes, that nanotechnology we were looking at.
There's a couple of them. I've been working on a variation of a Viridium patch that can be used for the phaser rifles on the Badlands thing. It's kind of a Viridium dust. We just got to sprinkle it over the phaser rifles. It should be trackable from about 30 light years away. And because it's a dust, anyone who touches it will have minute traces of it, which means they should be picked up by a tricorder for the short range.
Well, that's very creative of you.
So yes, so we pass that along to someone in like Starfleet security. They can maybe arrange a meet with the Nausicaans to arrange some phaser rifles, and then follow them back to wherever they go. That way.
Very well. Once we get back from the this Tri-Cobalt escapade, I'll be sure to drop a line to someone in some position that can do something about this.
And also the listening devices. I touched base and did a little bit of work with Matic before we got too busy about the nanotechnology and the listening. And we think we've found a little way of converting them into both a transmitter and eavesdropping device. And I'm working on a delivery method that'll allow them to be moved longer distances, because right now they're a very short distance listening device.
Very handy. Once again, every week you seem to come up with a new reason why I am pleased to have promoted you to Alpha Shift.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
And then I'll hand him the little pad of resources I need.
Oh, I see.
Requisitions. I need a suspension device and some extra gel materials. Just so you're not surprised.
Well, let's see. I think the quartermaster has 2/3 of this in stock. So long as the current mission does not have any pressing need for this stuff, I'll see what I can do to get at least some of it into your quarters.
Thank you, Captain.
No, thank you, Lieutenant. Dismissed.
No. Snap my heels together and leave.
All right. Last call for any bits of RP people want to do, because we do have to get through quite a bit of combat tonight.
Not like a full scene, but just as Beckett passes Zenixi in the hall or goes down to main engineering, he'll hand her the updated duty roster for the split, and tell her that she's going to be his chief engineer for this split in this upcoming battle. He'll give her kind of a wink, let his mind be open just in case, and say, I have a lot of faith in you and a lot of respect in your abilities and what you can learn. That's why I've asked for you to be my engineer for this upcoming split of the shift. So when we do split, you're down with me and Gamma. And then I'll just kind of nod and walk out to continue making preparations.
Okay. Well, as you go, she says, I'll try to live up to your expectations. And yeah, I'm going to preemptively put us on this map, just because it'll represent you guys being in system, and it'll also let me explain what you're seeing. So let me zoom out a little bit here so people on stream can see what's going on. So as you can see, we have, of course, the ranged increments. Anything beyond those is extreme range. You'll also note that we're dealing with colored dots. And basically those dots will, as you probably can guess, represent the station on the bridge that an action has taken place in. So for example, if we fire weapons, the tactical colored dot will go away. and any future tactical actions will be at increased difficulty. Basically, it's a visual representation of seeing what you've used at this point. And I'm gonna let it just be known for all NPC ships because I don't think there's really a way to hide it. So that'll keep everyone honest and hopefully on the same page. Also, you might have noted I threw a momentum spend up in the upper right corner, just so you know, you don't have to go digging for it. Also, go ahead.
The momentum spin table.
Mm-hmm.
What's the R?
Repeatable, which means you can do it as many times as you want.
Okay.
You just got to pay the momentum each time.
Changing scene, I'm assuming we've also lost the momentum.
Yeah, that was what I was about to say. Is yes, we are changing scenes. So you're down to 3.
You said any additional tasks by a section that's already gone will be more difficult. But does that count if I use the command order task on that station?
From what I understand, it does, and I'll just preemptively get those 3 ships on the map. From what I understand, basically you're assisting them on the roll. It's the equivalent in 40k of a rogue trader pointing at someone and say, do better, and then they get a +10 to their roll. I would say that how do I want to say this? I would save that action, that command assist, for when you want to do another attack or another jam sensors or another tractor beam, something that a position has already been done. That way you get the assist for that. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I have a question.
Sure, that's why we're on this map. Get all the questions out of the way.
So, if the Alpha section gets blown up, and Starfleet builds another Alpha section, does the ship still get to be named the Ophion, or do we have to name it something else?
Ship of Theseus. Who knows?
All right.
Oh, boy. All right. So, any other questions? No?
Bring on the Romulans. Let's go.
All right. So, we skip ahead a little bit to you all arriving in the Cora system. And right now, you're on the exterior of the Oort cloud. And your sensors, well, let's go for some momentum here. Locke, I think you already know what you need to roll. And whoever is doing the main ship, because I don't think you guys have split quite yet. Whoever is doing the main ship, it is sensors plus science for the main ship. And the difficulty here is going to be a 2.
Nope.
Well, maybe the ship will assist.
I can roll the ship.
Okay.
That was sensors.
Sensor science.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, unfortunately not. So, Locke, you are picking up obviously the outpost on Cora 2, but you're also not really picking up any other ships in system, if there are any.
Any ships yet, Captain? I could scan more, but to do so would probably reveal our position a little bit more.
Very well. What's the position of our allies?
You would know that the IRW Virus is close to you, but cloaked, so I'll put them on the map.
Right.
So they're there, more or less.
Okay. Good to know. And how close are we for the 5 days?
You have, looking at my notes, you have 2 to 3 days, because, it's not a specific time when they're supposed to be here. It's like, or by that I mean you don't know the specific hour they're coming in. But you have 2 to 3 days to do as you wish to mask your presence in system. Because right now, yeah, you're just on the edge of the system.
All right. Yeah, so let's work on deploying a the tachyon buoys? Sounds like a good idea.
Captain, we can't exactly argue.
All
Well,
right.
you could always come up with other options. I don't think I'm a dictator type captain. Would you like to meet?
Preparing a tachyon buoy.
All right. How many do you want to launch out of curiosity?
Good question. What's the effective range?
I would say the effective range would be long range, but it would be definitely something the Romulans would pick up on their sensors. Basically, the longer range you go, the more power it draws and the more easily detectable it is.
I'd like to place them on the outskirt side of the Oort cloud.
Mm-hmm.
That way, if they cloak and try to flee, then we'll at least be able to see where they're going.
Okay.
So I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 just on the Oort cloud's edge.
Okay.
Sound good to people?
Yeah, I'll launch 2, Captain. I mean,
Very well.
need more for if we need them.
All right.
Aim them at fairly far distance apart.
So my next question is very important. Are you going to split the ship now or wait until the Romulans arrive?
Well, if we split the ship now, then we lose the ability to appear as a Romulan warbird, right?
But I guess this is kind of a follow-up here. I mean, you have 2 to 3 days to hide. And there's a whole slew of classical ideas of how you guys can do that. For example, you guys could hide above one of the planet's magnetic poles. You could simply just go dark and wait in extremely low power mode. You could, Gamma Section anyway. Gamma Section could land on one of the planets. Or if you wanted to risk going in the system, you could probably sit in the sun's corona using a metaphasic shield. And those are just 4 I thought of, so...
Are there any asteroids in the system?
There are, but they're not like the close-up clumped asteroids that we see in sci-fi a lot. They're spaced out quite a bit.
I'm just wondering if there's like a large one. Bigger than the Ophion.
I'll say that there's at least 1 or 2, yeah.
So, Captain, if we approach at low impulse to that asteroid at bearing 245, we could nudge it toward the system with our tractor beam and then kind of use Gamma's landing pad to kind of land on the asteroid and kind of ride it in low power mode closer.
Is the asteroid magnetic by chance? Is there any iron, a high degree of iron in there?
Sure, why not?
All right. Well, that sounds like a decent idea to me. If we magnetize the landing struts and run ourselves in silent running mode, we could get closer to the system or closer to the station.
Yeah. We may not have cloaking devices, but we still have our science.
Absolutely. Very well. Let's make that happen.
All right. So, if I understand correctly, we're splitting the ship up.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I'll keep that over there just because I have turn orders already arranged, but we will stuff all of the sections into here. We'll just move the Virus a little bit. Maybe I'll maybe think about making this bigger later. I'm not going to mess with it now. Okay. So that's how you guys mask Gamma Section. How are you masking Beta and Alpha?
Well, Beta could probably go dark because we don't have landing struts in like some sections.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Alpha, since it's a very slim profile, perhaps we could make our way into the pole of one of the nearby planets.
Sure.
Out of curiosity, I know the notes mentioned that there were system defenses, but what sort are they? Are they like weapons platforms or weapon emplacements on planet surfaces?
More of the latter, and those are only on Korra 2, so as long as you don't get close to the planet, you should be okay.
Okay. What's Korra 3?
Korra 3 and Korra 4, both of them are Class Ds, so just balls of rock.
Balls of rock. Okay. Which one of them would have a higher magnetic fluctuation?
Korra 4 would be the best candidate.
Okay. And then it goes into the Oort cloud, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That sounds good. Yeah, that sounds good. That way, if the Romulan convoy heads through the Oort cloud, then we can follow them from Korra 4 and get their rear.
Okay.
Ha, phrasing. Okay.
Yeah, I was to say phrasing.
I'm Trill. I've done it all the ways.
Oh, dear. Okay. All right, so all the sections of the ship get situated. And, yeah, time passes. Unless anyone has any really pressing things, we can just skip ahead a bit. So approximately 2.5 days later of you guys basically playing submarine warfare, one of the buoys you left on the edge of the system reports very discreetly that it is detecting 3 uncloaking Romulan warbirds, which I'm going to put on this map. So the 3 that uncloak, the Virus, who is cloaked nearby you guys, reports, we'll say they're at medium range, really, because of the ship being split up. But if it matters, the Virus reports that this is the Hen Clan, the Okas, and the Mare. And after the 3 warbirds decloak and begin heading into system, Locke specifically, you would pick up a covert subspace carrier wave that we forgot to mention during the briefing, but this is something that the agent basically communicates with. But this would be in kind of a shotgunned out kind of message, so it's not directly to you, but you would pick it up.
Yeah, because they don't know where we are.
Can he determine what ship it came from?
Well, Locke can certainly try. Just depends on, Locke's inclination.
Yep. I try to triangulate it with between the 3 ships.
Okay.
Go
ahead and roll me let's do another reason plus science. Difficulty here will be a 2.
Let's see. Communication and deception as a focus.
Yes, indeed.
Not going to buy an extra dice because...
You get it what you need. So, I'm going to give you 2 bits of information. And, of course, if you want to buy more questions with momentum, you certainly can. So, the first thing you know is that the signal comes from the Hen Clan. And the message that is contained in the subspace carrier wave says that the Hen Clan and the Okas are supposedly carrying the warheads.
Awesome. So it looks like the signals coming from the Hen Clan. It appears that they and the Okas are carrying the warheads we need. We can definitely focus fire on them and leave the Mare to last.
Very well. Of course, trust but verify. Once they get into sensor range, I'd like to try to find out if we're able to verify that data with our own scans.
How do I want to play this? If you want to do that kind of a scan, I will say that there is a chance that the Romulans could pick it up.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to do it now. We could scan after we snap the mousetrap shut.
Okay.
Now, are they coming from which side of the system are they coming in from? Are they coming in? are we between them and the station, or are they currently coming into the far side of the system?
Just to keep things simple, there you are between them and the planet.
Okay, so it's best then to trap them now. Okay. Where are they going to be passing through the Oort cloud?
They are just beginning to.
Okay. And how long are they going to be in the Oort cloud at their present speed?
You've got 10 minutes to snap the trap.
All right. So they've already bypassed the Virus, which was on the other side. Good. Very well.
So I guess, the Virus would actually be, since they're on the other side of the system, they'd be at extreme range.
Yeah. Okay. Ophion Alpha to Ophion Beta and Ophion Gamma?
Beta here, Captain.
Go ahead, Captain.
Looks like they're coming in, and our best chance is to get them before they hit the station. It appears that I'll mark the two warbirds that we believe are the suggested targets.
Yeah, I'll mark them with a little skull icon.
That works. Those will be your primary targets. The third will just try to keep out. We'll try to keep them separated, but our primary goal is the Ocassus and the Henoclin. Let's move into attack range. And as much as I wish I could give them the opportunity to surrender, that is much time. Rules of engagement are fire first, and if you fear for your ship's integrity, immediately break off. We'll deal with the fallout later.
Aye, Captain. Lieutenant Bragg, bring us back online.
All right.
Hi, Captain.
Sona, all hands, battle stations.
All right. So, in conjunction, all three sections of the Ophion power up, go to red alert, and begin basically screaming like a bat out of hell at impulse speeds towards the three warbirds. Let me just ask this. Does anyone need a break right now? Because I feel like if we break mid-combat, it might be a little bit awkward. So does anyone need a break coming up? Or
I wouldn't mind a 5-minute.
Okay, so we'll do this then. I'll put the turn order on the screen, and this is where we'll do our break. And then when we come back, we will be in Starship combat. All right, so yeah, take about 5 minutes, guys. All right, I'm back. see if I can find a place to put this turn order. Maybe up there? Yeah, that'll work. Did I not give? I guess I didn't. There we go. So, Bishop, are you here? No, he must be okay. Maddock, are you here? Alright, he's gone too. Alright. Who is here?
I'm back.
Welcome back. I think I just heard Murthrin.
Hmm?
I meant to ask this, Murthrin. Which section of the ship are you going to be with?
Good question.
I'm back.
Welcome back.
Let's see, Xenixia's in Gamma,
Mm-hmm.
so I guess Beta?
Okay. I had Prag
Right.
there originally, but if you want to take...
Alright, Alpha then.
Okay. All right. I heard Locke for a moment.
I'm back. I'm just munching.
Ah, gotcha. I think I also heard the captain.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Beckett and Maddock. Are you guys back yet? Does not appear to be. We'll give him another minute and then we'll get things started.
Okay.
All right, there's Maddock. What's the bird's name, by the way, Bishop? I don't remember.
It is Jesse.
Jesse the bird. Okay.
What kind of bird is it?
Cockatiel.
Oh.
It's sort of like you've got parrots and then you've got parakeets, you've got cockatoos and then you've got cockatiels.
Those are the big poofy white ones, yeah?
Yeah, that's cockatoos. Cockatiels are they've got sort of a yellowish head, white grey feathers. and
Gotcha.
sort of a crest on their head.
Gotcha. I know.
And
I now
little
remember.
little orange cheek pads.
Yes, this is the bird. I looked it up on Google. This is indeed the bird I was thinking of. All right. Well, let's get things started. Hopefully Beckett will join on in. So let me go to the big BRB. As you may have noticed, I've put everything into the turn order. The numbers simply represent how many turns you have left. You guys do get to go first. We will. I'll say this again, mostly for sake of posterity and for anyone watching. As I said earlier, I might have been off stream, but basically the Ophion being 3 separate ships gets quite a few bits of action. If I had to make a comparison, they are similar to how the Borg basically get a turn for every single player and every single ship on the field. They get equal turns. It's not as bad as the Borg, but the Ophion still does get quite a bit of actions. It might be game-breaking, it may not be. We're just here to have fun.
The Prometheus was designed to be game-breaking.
Oh, yeah. Hopefully it's not too game-breaking.
Because the Dominion was already cheating.
Yeah, the Dominion was not fun. Anyway, though, before we get sidetracked, we will start with the Alpha section of the Ophion. So, Skull, who among your Alpha section crew would you like to go first?
I'll take my action first, just because it makes for good role-playing anyways.
Okay.
I'm going to open a wideband frequency.
Okay.
And I am just going to say, attention rogue Tal Shiar. I am Captain Barton Skull of the Federation Starship Ophion. You have until we start firing to dismantle and dispose of those trilithium warheads. This is not an option.
Okay.
And I end the channel.
Okay. Well, the good news
That'll
is...
get their attention.
Yeah, I was going to say, the good news is I'm going to let you do a difficulty 0 roll here. If you would be so kind as to roll me a control plus engineering, and the Alpha section will assist with communications plus engineering.
Control plus
Communications plus engineering.
I don't have a
I'm
good
assuming
focus
that's
for that.
sensors.
Say again, Bishop?
I'm assuming that's sensors.
Yes, it is. Actually, no, it is communications plus engineering.
Oh, bother.
Com. Still, with a 16, you weren't going to be able to get it. But hey, Skull getting 2 successes means you guys are up to 5 momentum. The wideband transmission goes out, and if the Romulans heard you, to put it bluntly, their response is to begin charging their weapons.
I just look around the bridge and said, it was worth a shot.
Yeah.
Was it, though? Was it really?
All right.
This is why we're not firing first.
Yeah, this is true. Okay. Next up, we have the beta section led by Panek. So, Panek, what would you like to do?
I'd like to move us into medium range.
Okay.
Of the Hen Clan.
All right. So that would be your helm operation. So anywhere. Let me double check. You want to move in within medium range, you said?
Yep.
Okay, then you just move... which ship do you want to be closest to?
The Hen Clan.
The Hen Clan. All right, so you move up to there. And that is, as far as I read, let me check. There is actually a task. So if you could roll... I believe I told you... Who was it?
I've got Lotus up.
Okay, good. She's going to roll a control plus con. And the Ophion beta will assist with engines plus con. And
operations focus?
Yes, it would. And again, this is a difficulty 0. So, good way to get that last bit of momentum.
Difficulty 0, but I still roll 2 d20s, right?
Correct. Yeah, you're maxed out on momentum. But yeah, that is your helm action. So I'll get rid of the green circle.
Max is 6, right?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Beckett, are you back yet?
I am back,
Ah.
just on mute.
Okay.
Don't call it a comeback. Been here for years. I will, just to spice things up, I will start with a, whatchamacallit, tactical action.
Okay.
And I'm going to have, let me look at my notes to see who, oh, it's Lindholm. Have Lindholm, tell Lindholm basically weapons free, target the Ocala or the Ocalis. Yeah, we'll open up at long range with torpedoes.
Okay, so just so you know, there's 2 bits of order when it comes to torpedoes. If you attack with torpedoes, I do get 1 threat. But there's also, you can fire a salvo as opposed to a single torpedo. That would, of course, give me 2 more threat. But the benefit of a salvo is it adds +1 to the attack damage, and it also grants the spread effect.
Okay. Then yeah, let's live a little dangerously, and I'll give you 2 threat, and we will salvo attack. Now I know how it would work in like with us individually, but in ship combat, what's like the area for the spread? So if I hit the Ocalis, do I possibly get splash damage on both the other ships?
That would be area. Spread basically afflicts an additional hit to a random system if you roll an effect. And it does half the damage of the initial hit. So say you rolled 10 damage, you would then do 5 damage to a random system, in addition to the initial hit.
Okay. That's fine. Then we will attempt that.
Okay. So Lindholm needs to roll me and you can mess with her sheet, yeah?
Oh. No, I cannot. All I get is bio and info.
Let me fix that. Oh, yeah, I see why. How about now?
Looks good. Okay.
All right. So she is rolling control plus security. And the Ophion Gamma is going to assist with weapons plus security. And because you are using torpedoes, the difficulty is 3.
Okay. You cut out for me for just a second. For
Sure.
Lindholm, it is daring plus security?
Control plus security.
Control, okay. And I'm guessing Starship weapon systems would be a good focus?
Oh, yeah. All right, there's 2 successes. So now we need to see if Gamma assists with weapons plus security.
Okay, give me 1 sec. Just got to switch sheets.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're all going to be balancing a lot of sheets here.
Okay, and you said weapons security, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
All right, you get what you need. In a narrative sense, Lindholm very masterfully fires off a salvo of photon torpedoes at the Ocasis. We're just going to butcher that name. Sends out a volley of, we'll say, probably about 5 photon torpedoes sailing towards the Romulan vessel. And if you would go ahead and roll me the appropriate challenge die. I believe it is 6 for you. It should be on the sheet.
Yes. Yeah, it's 6 on the sheet. And the auto roller that's on the sheet doesn't work. I need to use the other one?
Correct.
Okay. Okay, so dice roll 6.
Okay. So let's deal with all the effects before we think about spending momentum.
Wonderful.
Okay, so the extra effect means that you will get a spread. However, I would perhaps either recommend re-rolling those zeros or doing a little bit of penetration. Phrasing.
I wasn't quick enough to get to my button that time.
Okay. I will. So it's spend a momentum, get to reroll all the zeros.
Correct.
Or is that part of the extra effect gives me that option?
No, it's re-rolling the damage is just a standard combat momentum that you can roll.
Okay.
That's why I threw the chart in the upper right,
Yeah.
just so we had it handy.
One of the sheets that I have up is actually covering it, so that's why I didn't see it. Okay, then I will do that. I'll dump a momentum and re-roll those 3.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
Nice.
So we're now up to 9 damage. I'll cheat a little bit and tell you what's going on. So the warbirds, by default, have 6 resistance. So you would need to do another 2 damage, which actually only 1, because we forgot to add in. It is +1 because of the salvo. So you would need to do 1 more damage in order to inflict a breach, which is big because you have high yield, and if you cause a breach, that's 2 breaches.
Okay.
So I would recommend spending a momentum for penetration.
Sounds like a plan.
All right.
We'll dump another momentum and do that.
Okay. So again, kind of in a narrative sort of fashion, as the salvo of photon torpedoes sails towards the Romulan vessel, it begins to turn and try to get out of the way, but the torpedoes are too fast, and they the first 2 slam into the Romulan shields. And for a moment, it looks like nothing really happens, but then the other 3 torpedoes hit, and they pierce through the shields. And I'm going to roll, which actually no, we're just doing NPC Starship, so I'm not going to roll for that. There's these kind of the torpedoes tear holes into the Ocassus, and the ship noticeably wobbles from the impact, and you can see that it is venting atmosphere. It's still up, mind you, but it took a very hefty hit there. Let me just double check. I can do math. Okay, so that is a grand total of that much damage. And since it did suffer a breach, the high yield on the torpedoes means it gets another breach, so it's at 2 breaches, which means that it loses a single turn in combat.
Nice.
It also loses 2 power, which, power is a good thing. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. So Gamma, you would, I think you lose 1 power. And
I
yeah,
don't believe torpedoes cost power.
Is it just
but,
phasers?
you do get, I think, a threat when you because they use torpedo. I believe.
Technically, I would get 2 because I use salvo, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
You're right. Torpedoes do not cost anything. All right. So yeah, you're fine. So that's all the Ophion, I think. Yes. Okay. So the Virus. The Virus is on the other side of the system. And what they're going to do is they're going to do a warp jump to basically zip across the system and appear behind the other 3 Romulan warbirds. So I need to roll for them. Survey says they, in fact, roll pretty damn well. I'll do a little bit of sidetracking here because they use a different momentum pool than you guys do. All right. So yeah, they appear kind of over here after a moment and flip horizontal, and that would be their helm action, and they would lose that much power. Okay. So we come around to the Okas. And the Okas is not really happy that Gamma just unloaded into it. So the tactical officer is going to do a prepare minor action, and then they're going to reply with their own volley of plasma torpedoes. So let's see how they do. Luckily for you, double checking. Yeah. So the torpedoes that are fired at you, either it is because you have a good helmsman, or simply because the tactical officer of the Okas couldn't aim properly. But they just sail harmlessly past you. Doesn't even graze your shields. And then up next is the Mare. The Mare is going to use its helm action to get up into close range. And I won't rotate it. So that would be that helm action. And then the Hen Clan, since the beta section is literally right there, they're going to begin to lock on target. So they roll a complication. Okay, that's interesting. Would you guys rather a complication, or would you like some momentum?
I mean, we got 4 momentum already. Oh,
I'm interested to see what sort of complications they get.
indeed.
Okay. So those of you in beta section, the report comes in that the Hen Clan has locked its phasers onto the, strangely, to the right above the main shield array, which is the strongest part of the shield. You don't know why they're locking on there, but for some reason they are. And that's the sensor operation.
It must be a cunning Romulan ploy.
Indeed.
Romulan art of war, you attack your enemy's strong points.
Could be. All right, so we roll back around to the Ophion. We'll start again, Alpha, Beta, Gamma. So Alpha, what you doing?
I'd like to jump in and scan again.
Do something. Sure, go for it.
I'm actually going to scan the Okaris, so Gamma can blow it all to hell still.
Okay. Let's see. I'm assuming you're
Scan for
scanning for
weakness.
weakness. Okay. So scan for weakness, control plus science, which, yeah, you max out on momentum already. Actually, wait a second. Let me just double check. There is +1 for range. Yes. Yes. So the ship will assist with sensors plus security. And if it does, then you'll get momentum.
Alrighty. Sensor
Sensor security.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're maxed on momentum. All right, so that was Alpha, and that's sensor operations. All right, Beta, what you doing?
Mr. Quackenbush, let's strafe their shields. Give me a phaser, salvo phaser fire along their shield array.
Okay. Well, since Mirthrin, it is your supporting character, why don't we have you roll it?
Yep. Which one's that?
Quackenbush should be control plus security. The difficulty here is a 2, and the ship will assist with weapons plus security.
I'll roll for the ship.
Control plus security.
Mm-hmm. Difficulty here is a 2.
Alrighty.
Well, that's a complication from the ship.
Oh dear. See, he actually doesn't have any focuses that are useful in Starship combat.
I noticed that when I was looking at his sheet.
He's a punchy.
We should shoot him out of a torpedo tube at the ship.
Boarding torpedoes.
You know what? We did get a complication on that thing, so I'm going to burn 3 momentum to get 2 extra dice.
That sounds good to me.
4.
All right.
I'll make it so, Quackenbush.
Yeah, you get the 2 successes you need. Just to, and I could be wrong on this, but, and again, this will come with time. But because you're using phasers, you get the Versatile 2 effect, which, if I recall correctly, and my notes are correct, you
Does
get
fun stuff.
2 bonus momentum that I think you can bank. Correct me if I'm wrong.
If
I
you
mean,
could,
I
I'd
think
like to
you have
use
to
them
use
for
them on the
power
actual
loss.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's say that the 2 bonus momentum you'd have to use rather than bank.
So that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of. Well, actually, we haven't rolled the effects yet, have we?
Yeah. You now need to roll me the beta sections phaser array.
Yep, which is 7, I believe. 7 challenge dice.
I think the main is 7. It's 6.
6. Alrighty. So 6 challenge dice, and depending on how this goes, I'll either re-roll stuff or upgrade the attack.
Okay.
That's
Alright.
a respectable result.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying we spend those 2 bonus momentum on boosting the penetration.
Okay.
Yeah, because they have a resistance of 6, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It's 2 bonus momentum to reduce the resistance by 4.
Okay. Hold on. Yes, correct. Anything else you'd like to do? Would you like to re-roll those zeros? Would you like to re-roll or just add straight damage?
I mean, I'm fine to sort of leave it there and have the momentum there for the next session, for the next section if they need a boost.
Okay. So, Quackenbush at Panek's command fires a masterful burst of phaser fire across the Hen clan, and it does do a little bit of damage. Obviously not as powerful as the Ophion combined, but that's still a tough little ship. So we come back around. Oh no, Gamma, what you doing?
Before Gamma can go, can I actually ask one quick question?
Sure.
Since I maxed out the momentum and I think I had 2 extra, during my scan, would I have noticed trilithium in the Okais?
Ooh, definitely, yes. Let's do that. So you're going to find out that the Okas does not have a warhead.
Ooh.
Alright. Captain, there's no warhead on that ship. Gamma, attack their starboard side.
Ominous.
Very well. Helm, shift targets. We're going after the Mare.
All right, I'll mark it with a little skull.
Update. Send an update to Beta and Gamma. Still, if Gamma can take them out of the fight, that would be appreciated.
All right. So now we come back around to Gamma. So you could take another tactical action, but it'll be
at a higher difficulty.
Yes, increased difficulty.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. Let's hit the mare with all of the phasers, just all of them.
Okay. So again, mostly to help you out, you can order this. And that would allow you to also do I believe it's a presence plus command roll to assist.
Okay, I will absolutely do that because I have this handy-dandy little talent called Doctor's Orders.
Mm-hmm.
And I can use my medicine instead of command.
Okay.
Nice.
Which will obviously, for me, will be higher. So, for my roll for the... Should I roll the assist first or after the original or the attack roll? Or does it matter?
Let's do it matters because if the attack roll doesn't score at least 1 success, the assists don't matter.
Okay,
So,
gotcha. Okay. Let me find
Lindholm would be weapons plus security, and or not weapons plus security, it's control plus security.
Okay.
And the overall difficulty here is a 3.
Okay. Seeing as how we are momentum magnets, I will spend a momentum.
Okay.
And I still have an applicable focus with Starship weaponry.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's 2 successes. You now can roll for the ship and for Beckett himself.
Okay. Ship is weapons. Security. Focus.
Okay, there's the 3 you needed. Now, does Beckett get you extra momentum?
And I know I don't have any applicable focuses.
You do.
Yes, I do.
You get that momentum right back. All right. So, almost mirroring its beta counterpart, the gamma section of the Ophion dips low and fires off a sort of a spread fire across the bow of the mare. And go ahead and roll me your challenge die.
Which is only 6 still, correct?
Correct. Okay. So that's some good stuff. Again, you might want to spend some momentum to get past the resistance.
Okay. I will absolutely do that. So, I guess I'll start by, what is it, re-rolling the zeros to ones. Or
Okay.
re-rolling the zeros, hopefully to ones.
Okay, so that'll be 1 momentum. Okay. And that's 7 at the moment. Would you care to... Oh, you also have the 2 bonus momentum. So what do you want to do with the 2 bonus momentum?
We're going to dump everything into penetration and try to put a hole in the side of them.
Okay. So, you actually inflict a breach, which is good. I need to note that somehow. How do I want to note that? I'll do it in red bar. I don't think you guys can see their bars, yeah?
No.
Okay. Good. All right. So yeah, you, with Lindholm's surprisingly masterful control of things when she's awake, she puts a nice dent into, I guess you would call it the head of the bird of prey. Or not the bird of prey, the warbird. And it's not quite as devastating as the blow she managed on the Okas, but it's still very impressive.
Yeah, so it cuts to a scene of Romulan stunt doubles expertly leaping over consoles as the explosions go off behind them.
Pretty much, yeah. So they also will lose a turn, which is good for you guys. So we come around to the Virus, and the Virus is up behind the Hen Clan and is going to fire its disruptors. Or maybe it won't. That's a complication and a critical success. I'm going to take threat instead of giving them a complication, because that's more threat for me. So how much challenge die do I need to roll? That's a lot of challenge die. Oh boy. Oh, okay. So here's the thing about Romulan disruptors. Is, well, every single effect is another damage. And, yeah, they also have enough bonus momentum to spend it. So that's only 4 damage reduction. So let me count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 17 damage before reduction. Reduced by 4 is 13.
Oh, yowza.
That not only knocks out the shields of the Hen Clan, but so that's 2 breaches on the Hen Clan. So yeah, the Hen Clan, caught completely unaware, thinking the Virus is here to help them, is completely blindsided, and all along the port side of the Hen Clan is just, it's Swiss cheese. There is just this magnitude of how effective this disruptor burst was. It's staggering. All the sections of the ships would observe this, but you're just glad that the Virus is on your side, because that was some very nice targeting. So yeah, that's the Virus. The Okas has lost a turn. The where's the Mare? Oh, there's the Mare. The Hen Clan is up, and the Hen Clan is going to actually attempt to fire at Ophion Beta. So let's see what happens. Yes, it actually does succeed quite well, in fact. However, I am going to say, because of the complication earlier, that you guys have 2 additional resistance die, temporary resistance, because they are targeting a very odd place on your ship. But let's roll damage first, and then we'll deal with the fallout. Okay, so that's 11? 11 damage before reduction. So the way we do this is first we need to roll those resistance die. So Panek, if you would be so kind as to roll me 2 challenge die. Okay, so that'll be 1 extra resistance. So the Ophion is scale 3 at the moment. So that's reduced to, I can math, that's reduced to 7 damage overall, I believe. And while your shields are not depleted, you do get a breach, because the magic number here is 5. Did I get rid of that chart? Where is the chart? There's the chart. I will roll now to see which system was hit. Okay. Engines were hit. Ooh. So, let me check. What does impact do on the engines? Whenever the engine system suffers 1 or more breaches, it disrupts those functions temporarily. The ship loses 2 power immediately. And until someone performs the restore minor actions, all tasks assisted by the ship's engines or have power requirements increase in difficulty and complication range by 1. Okay. So yeah.
It's beta section, so that's the one I'm not on.
Yup.
It's the one we don't want to destroy, because then we have 2 parts that can't connect together.
I'm the glue that keeps the family running.
And you guys are actually, don't forget, whenever we fire phasers, you do lose 1 power. So I've adjusted beta and gamma accordingly. All right, but that's the Hen Clan. That is, so obviously there is some breach near engineering. Luckily, no loss of life yet. Just a bit of the hull empty, show into space. Not a big deal. The Virus. That's what happened. I put Virus before Mir. So the Mare hasn't gone yet. So the Mare is going to return fire to the Gamma.
Didn't the Mare also lose a...
It did lose a turn. Thank you for reminding me. So it lost a turn. All right. We come back around to the Alpha section of Ophion. What you doing?
Let's see if we can't
before Alpha
those
goes...
shields.
Okay.
Before Alpha goes, I'm going to ask Commander Ty to radio to the Alpha section and tell them that Commander Beckett reminds them that Alpha section also still has weapons.
Nice.
Thank you very much for the reminder. I intend to use them this turn. Well, if the commander went low,
you speak of.
if Beckett went low, I'm going high and doing a phaser sweep along the Mare.
Okay. So that would be Shatsu's control plus security. I'm almost 100% sure she has a focus here.
Pretty sure she is one you made after all.
Mm-hmm.
Assisted by the Ophion's weapon and security.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
We'll roll that's the same.
With those. One success.
Okay. 1 success. Hey, that's all you need. One thing I'm going to do real fast is I'm going to add a red bar to all of your tokens. And that's how we'll keep track of breaches. No, you don't have a breach yet. And then 0 to 3. Okay. There we go. Now we should be able to track breaches a little bit more easier. All right. So yeah, you with Shatsu's masterful control of the phaser, she lines up a nice long dorsal shot across the back of the mare. So yeah, go ahead and roll me 6 challenge die for the damage. Okay.
Let's see.
You do have
And
the
I
2
get-
bonus momentums. Let's deal with those first.
2 bonus, and then we get 1 additional, correct?
No.
No, not this time. Just
Not
the 2.
this time.
Okay.
Yeah, just the 2.
Okay. Let's see. I haven't done this yet, so I'll spend 1 to re-roll the zeros.
Okay.
So that's 3.
Well, let me ask, did you want to spend regular momentum or bonus momentum to do that?
The bonus. Sorry.
Okay,
bonus
so-
momentum.
So you stay at 2 momentum. All right, so that's up to 6 damage.
Mm-hmm. And then the other bonus momentum, I will add penetration.
Okay, so that would be 4 resistance. So 6 minus 4, you would be doing 2 shield damage.
Works for me.
Okay. Hey, it's something, right?
Yeah.
All right. So you, of course, are not as, shall we say...
Surgical?
Yeah, I guess surgical would be a good word here. You're not as surgical as Gamma Section was, but you still, take down some of their... I actually did not minus their shields. That is my mistake. I should have done that.
And that's 1 power loss, correct?
Yes.
Cool. And power's blue, and hit points are green.
Shields are green, yeah.
Shields are green, right.
Okay. So it's starting to look like, kind of as from a narrative position, like the mare's shields are beginning to buckle. Like another good hit would get rid of the shields.
I'm going to see if Gamma still has their science action. Can they scan the Mare for trilithium?
They certainly can.
Assuming Beckett wishes to.
I guess.
All right.
Yeah, I will on my turn.
Okay. Beta. Let's go to Beta then. Beta, what you up to?
Well, I was debating. I've got to use restore to get rid of this negative effect with the engines, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Also, I've finally worked out what the disadvantage to splitting into 3 modes is. I can't restore power on all the sections at once.
Mm-hmm.
Not with that attitude, you can't.
What's the difference between restore and the damage?
Yeah, just
control?
cut to Mirthran rapidly running through space between the 2 sections.
Oh dear. So you want to do the the damage control task there, Panek?
Yeah, what's the difference? Like, restore will get rid of this engine debuff, but
Mhm.
damage control, will that which one should I do? Will the damage control get rid of the breach?
It does not remove any breaches the ship has suffered, only the penalties imposed by the damage. So, because it's only an impact at the moment, I don't think it would get you anything.
So the restore would probably be
Yeah, the restore is, since I'll double check here. Yeah, all you need to do is restore, and you're fine.
All right, I'm gonna turn to Prag and say, Lieutenant Prag, get us or Chief Prag, get us restore power to our engines. We need to get moving. We won't be sitting duck out here.
Okay. All right. That would be either a daring or control plus security, difficulty 2 from Prague.
I guess jerry rigging doesn't count.
Now, power systems would, though, if he has that.
Nope.
Okay, you get the 2 successes you needed. So you get 1 bit of power back, and if you spend any momentum, it's 1 point of power per 1 per momentum.
No, I think we're good.
Okay. We come around to Gamma. Gamma, what you doing?
I posed a question in Discord, but
okay.
No, it's cool. Can we as the commanders of the ship use on one of the cheat sheets you gave us.
Mm-hmm.
There is an action under the commander reference,
Mm-hmm.
commanding officer reference, called Rally,
Mm-hmm.
where we can, or the flavor text says we give broad orders to the entire bridge crew outlining a plan or strategy. The CO attempts a command task using control, reason, or presence, and without assistance from the ship. This task has difficulty 0 and is specifically to generate momentum.
I see it now. You know what? I see a flaw in this. I need to add a dot for that part of the ship. So it's next turn, you, Beckett, could, like, next round, I should say. You could, but you have already used your command officer this round because you did the directed attack.
Gotcha. Okay. No,
Good.
I just happened to read it, and that's why I wanted to ask.
No, it's a good thing. I'll make it a purple circle for the command task.
Okay.
The restore power was a minor action. Does that mean I don't get to use a regular task now?
No. So restore by itself is a minor action, but the actual power management task that actually gets you power back is an action.
All right.
Yeah, and I actually forgot to take away the blue circle. There you go.
Okay, then I will ask Commander McTurk to find us those warheads on that ship.
Okay. So McTurk would be rolling Reason plus Science.
Okay.
And Gamma would assist with Sensors plus Science. I'm going to make the difficulty here let's make it a 2.
Okay. Yeah, he doesn't have any applicable focuses.
Wow. Good job,
Holy
McTurk.
Nice roll.
Holy crap, Batman. Well, as they say, I might as well go fishing for more crits and still do Ophion Gamma to see if I can get us some more momentum.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that one would be sensors plus science.
Yep.
Wow.
And you thought you needed to rally.
Yeah, I know. Hey, I'm just thinking of trying to get the team more momentum. But we don't really have a science ship, so yeah.
Yeah, no. Again, I'll tell you a couple bits of information, and you can choose to spend momentum for more if you want. But the big question, does the mare contain a warhead? The answer is yes. It does indeed seem to contain a warhead.
Okay.
And the second bit of information I'll give you for free is that the mare is beginning to spool up its warp drive. Or no, because you're in the ore cloud. So it's beginning to spool up its engines and looks like it's about to make a break for it.
Okay. And the we haven't completely dropped the mare's shields yet, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Do we want to try and push through the difficulty for doing a task twice in a row?
I will radio over to Alpha Section, confirm that the mare does have a warhead, and confirm that the mare is spooling up its engines to try to get the hell out of here.
Alrighty.
Okay.
And I will also say that Gamma Shift will stay on the mare until we get the warhead back.
Okay.
And can I take a second action in a row?
If you spend 2 momentum, you can, yes. But it does have to be a different player character or NPC that does the action.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, let's do it that way because... yeah, let's do it that way. Specifically because you guys already have 15 rounds in combat.
Okay. Do you guys want me to take another tactical action and see if I can shoot them? But it would have to be somebody other than Lindholm. Or should I pass turn and
gone this round yet?
Yeah, Alpha. Yeah, I've already phaser spread them this turn.
Okay.
I mean, we're in the Oort cloud already, so they can't get far. I'm all for holding momentum for when you can use your Lindholm again, and then we can hit it harder with the momentum.
Maybe send another torpedo spread after it.
Okay. That's fine with me. Yeah, we'll just do that.
Okay, so no
I'll pass
momentum
turn.
spent. All right. The Ocus, which we've said 8 different times in different ways.
You mean the Okais?
Yeah, the Okais. There's another
I
one.
thought it was the Okais.
You mean the Ocala?
The Susan?
The Susan. Oh, Lord. The Susan, as we're now going to call it, because I'll remember that better. The Susan does, in fact, attempt to move in kind of a defensive posture for the Hen Clan. So it's going to move to here. And for beta section, which could be relevant, you are now counted as being in close range with both the Susan and the Hen Clan. But that is the Okasis's helm action. We come around to the Mare. The Mare is now going to fire on the Ophion Gamma section. And does, in fact, do quite a good job of it.
Ooh, wow. That's a lot of ones.
Yeah, that is a lot of ones. All right, so let's do this, and then we can deal with the fallout. So that is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 before reduction. So 13 reduced by 3. Actually, wait, don't you guys have a blade of armor?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
We
so
sure do.
we're not going to go back and fix beta section, but for future reference, you guys have resistance 5 when you're a small ship. So it was 13. It'll go down to 8, which is still a breach. So you would take 8 shield damage and suffer a breach. But let's see which system was hit, because it always could matter. A 7. I believe that's also engines. No, that is sensors. Okay. Sensors damage. Whenever the system suffers 1 or more breaches, it disrupts those functions. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Until the sensor's operation officer performs the restore minor action, no task can be attempted which will use or be assisted by the ship's sensors. And
That would
furthermore,
include targeting weapons.
yeah, basically you want to restore that ASAP.
Okay.
But yeah, no power loss, nothing like that. So yeah, again, narratively, the Mare fires, and the Gamma section is the flat top kind of thing, but it fires and it doesn't quite tear a line into the Gamma section, but it does open up some very hefty sort of wounds in the dorsal part of the ship. And next up, we have the Virus. The Virus is just going to do some internal power management. It does, so it gets back the power. And then the Hen Clan. The Hen Clan, when it's up, it is going to attempt to restore some shields. Which it does indeed. So how much shield does it get back? It gets 2, and then per momentum spent, which for them is threat. So I'm going to dump some threat into this, and I'm going to say they get to restore their shields to half power. But that also, of course, takes them down some power. Okay. Let me just double check. Yes, okay. Ophion comes around. And we go first to the Alpha section of the ship.
Mm-hmm. I vote we fire a torpedo spread at the Mare.
Close range, we can... That works for me. Oh, that's another tactical option, and we've already spent our action, but we can put 2... That's 2 momentum, right?
Well, no,
2 difficulty.
It's 1 difficulty more. But as Beckett did, you could use your command direct action,
Yeah.
and you'd get an assist.
Because I can't think of anything with internal systems or Helm that we could do. I mean, I guess Merthrin could regen some power.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I kind of want to stop that mare from getting too far away.
As do I. So I will use my command action to assist. And
Do what a captain does and yell at people.
Yeah, pretty much. Yell at them politely, but I still yell.
Drive me closer, or I want to hit them with my photon torpedoes. Wait, no, that's actually reasonable.
Yep. Shatsu, full torpedo spread right along their ventral side.
All right, so that's 2 threat for me.
Yepers. That is control plus security for her.
I got the ship here.
Yep, and the difficulty here is a 3 because it is torpedoes. Yep. Oh, no, sorry, 4 because you've also used your tactical action.
Yeah. I will spend 1 momentum to get an extra die.
Okay, well, Ophion Alpha's ready to go.
You would happen to have the advisor.
Oh, just as well.
No, I don't have the advisor, I'm afraid.
Right. Well, I've got that. I'm going to keep that in mind.
And then the captain does his assist.
Okay.
Which is command plus security?
I would say command plus security or presence plus command.
Presence, command, 1d20. No focus.
All right, so you get the momentum back.
Right.
Since I need the threat, I'm going to take a threat instead of giving you guys complication.
Very well.
All right, but yes, you do in fact hit with your photon torpedo spread.
And
so
that's
yeah,
7 die?
6 challenge die.
6. Why do I always think 7?
Because the salvo gives a +1. Okay, so we're at 6 damage with the +1 from the salvo.
Mm-hmm.
And reminder that the warbirds have resistance 6, so we're kind of at null damage at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to add 2 extra damage to get rid of the rest of their shields.
Yeah. 2 bonus damage of 2 for the shields? Or would we prefer the penetration in this case?
I think if we're min-maxing, you want to go for the penetration.
Penetration would be more efficient. Like, bonus damage becomes useful once you've got through their resistance entirely.
Alright. Then the penetration it shall be.
Alright, how many are you going to spend?
Let's spend 2 momentum, so we have 2 left.
Okay. So that is down to 2 resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a grand total of 4 damage at the moment. Would you like to spend another momentum for bonus damage and cause a breach?
That sounds fun.
Because if you cause a breach, you do get another because of the torpedoes.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Sorry if anyone else wanted to spend momentum this turn.
All right. Well, this is good. So at close range, Shatsu opens up with another volley of photon torpedoes, and if the mare wasn't already Swiss cheese, yeah, it's pretty holy at the moment. So let's see. It has. Oh wow. Okay, hold on. So it has no more shields, which is 1 breach. You did enough damage for 5, so that's 2 breaches. You used a torpedo, that's 3 breaches. Man. And then you rolled an effect, so that's an additional hit at half damage, which is enough to cause another breach, because it has no shields.
Are we about to just disintegrate this ship?
You might. Hold on. I can math.
How many breaches does it take before a ship technically just becomes debris?
For it would be if it exceeds 6, but it's going to have 5. 5? Yeah, 5 total breaches, which is pretty freaking hefty.
And depending on the rolls, it is possible that one of those breaches might trigger another breach.
Indeed. So let me check. Well, no, I'm using NPC rules for them just to speed things along. But this does mean they are damaged. So If the total number of breaches the NPC ship has suffered is equal or greater to half the scale of the ship, then the ship has been significantly damaged. This increases the difficulty of all tasks attempted by the ship +2 until repaired. The difficulty of repair is a 3. Well, sucks to be the mayor.
Can they still warp out?
It depends if they get incredibly lucky and the engine is the one system that doesn't get breached.
I would say because we are doing... well, it would need a helm action, first of all. And if it wanted to do it on its turn, it's already used its helm, so it would have to do it at increased difficulty. And all helm tasks are difficulty 0 to begin with, so it would have to pass a difficulty 3 task to warp away.
Ms. Shatsu, please pass a message on to the Gamma section that we have confirmed that our weapons are working in perfect order. Thank you very much for the reminder.
Oh dear. Alright, so that's Alpha section. Beta section.
It's in Quackenbush. I don't like the Okais moving into cover the Hen Clan like that. Let's deter them. Give us send a couple of torpedoes their way.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my
Very well, sir.
gonna use my command direct task.
Okay, so overall difficulty is a 4.
Is that control security again?
Mm-hmm.
And it says I can assist them with my command discipline.
Presence plus command.
Yes, please. My control is one of my weakest stats on Quakenbush.
I have team dynamics. Does that help?
Sure.
Sure.
Why not?
So what does that do?
It just that's his focus.
Okay.
What?
Well, Panek doesn't help.
I need to work on my command skills.
As usual.
All right, so unless you spend momentum to give the ship an extra die here, it has to crit in order for the torpedoes to succeed.
Yeah, which it doesn't.
Determination.
There's also determination.
Panek, do you have any values that would work here?
I have events rarely follow the Starfleet training manual. But I don't think it's gonna work.
I don't think there's anything in the training manual that says blow up Romulans.
I mean, we could use the momentum, I guess, but I mean, what do you rest of you guys say? Oh, I have advice which lets you re-roll 1d20 because I assisted you with my command discipline.
Well, you didn't succeed, so I'd actually roll that. Yeah, you can't re-roll.
You're a cruel DM. Cruel, I say.
Do we want to spend the momentum here, and then next turn just all the sections are just focusing on regaining energy and repairing so that we can get some momentum back?
That sounds like a good strategy.
Alrighty, let's do that then. Spend a momentum to... what would we spend that to do, actually? Just get an extra...
An extra ship die, because the ship has not rolled yet.
Alrighty.
So the ship would assist
section?
with weapons plus security, and you get to roll 2 die, and of course it always has a focus.
It's also a torpedo, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Just in case that counts. I don't know.
It matters for
I'm
damage.
And didn't let me roll a second one, so I'll have to do that again.
Okay.
Weapons, security...
Show me potato salad. That is potato salad.
Nice. And that's an extra momentum.
Yep. So you get that momentum right back. So yeah, you launch another volley of photons at the Okas this time. Or no, sorry, the Susan. So go ahead. 6 challenge die here, and then we'll do the math.
Right. Yeah, people are not used to Federation ships being this full of DACA. Right,
Needs
6
more
dice, was it?
DACA.
Never enough DACA.
Okay, so again to break.
That's good.
That's really good. So again to break down the math, that's 8 damage minus 6 resistance at the moment. That would be 2 total damage. Where would you like to spend momentum, if at all?
How much power did the torpedo volley use?
Torpedo volleys use 0 power.
Yeah, they generate threat instead.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, how much damage are we doing at the moment?
At the moment, you're only doing 2 damage.
Yeah.
So we're not going to get enough to get a breach with bonus damage.
No, but do we want to try mixing it up and making it a devastating attack so a second
we don't have
system
momentum for that.
takes a bit of
2.
extra damage, or?
We only have 1 momentum. I don't think we can...
That's a good point.
You could give me a point of threat, I'd say.
Whoa, that's...
I mean, given all the torpedoes we've launched, GM is basically rolling in threat, so what's 1 more?
I like this attitude.
I would say, though, that maybe, again, it seems like penetration is the, like, go-to if you're not going for power loss. Like, I honestly don't know why they...
Actually, some power loss might not be a silly idea, because they're going to try and regain shields.
This is
probably.
True. Command decision will do... we'll take the threat and do the devastating attack.
Okay. So it'll do half that damage, so that'll be a grand total of, if I math correctly, 3 damage? Because I think the scale still apply. I think resistance still applies. Yeah. Alright, so still not enough for a breach, though.
Ready. Next section.
Alright, next section it is. So that's -3 shields. Alright, so we come around to Gamma. So Gamma, the gauntlet has been thrown down by the Alpha section. And the mare is on its last legs.
So, my question is, now that their shields are down, can I use the transporter and pull the warhead off the ship?
Depends, where do you want to put it?
Part of me would like to bring it onto the ship and put it into one of the cargo bays. The other part of me wants to transport it as far away from this battle as I can in this sector.
Okay.
Into the sun.
What was that, Jester?
Into the sun.
No.
Be a creative way to end combat.
That is what we do not want to do.
But I mean, somewhere like teleport it out of the battle, dump it somewhere. That way we can focus on what we're doing and getting the other one.
Okay.
Yeah, even if it's just floating there, obviously the ships would have to break away to go and retrieve it.
Right. So that would obviously be internal systems.
Although I guess they could just transport it on board.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're probably a little bit more worried about the fact that half their ship is about to fall apart. Okay. So let's.
Hence why I was thinking of bringing on our ship. That way, I know where it is.
Right.
Yeah, we can always just transport it off later.
Right. Well, let me say this. Let me add up the difficulty here. So it would be power 1. You nominate an object. If it is both the destination and target is within close range, it is difficulty 2. Engineering tasks assisted by the ship. +1 if the target is not on a pad, which it's not, so that's difficulty 3. +1 if the destination is not a pad, so that would be 4. And
don't cargo base have transporter pads though for large transporting?
They do. I'm just adding up like if you were to do it off the ship. So you could beam it close, somewhere in close proximity for 4 power, or you can beam it onto your ship for, or not power, 4 difficulty, and beam it onto your ship for 3 difficulty. But I'll also be nice and say that if you were to say beam it into space, you could potentially just cause it to detonate harmlessly. you could destabilize the matrix basically and cause it to implode on itself.
I don't think we talked about what is the explosive yield on a trilithium warhead that's not heading into a sun.
Well, if DS9 is any indicator, it's not great. It probably won't affect anyone in combat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they're really designed to set off a chain reaction rather than do
Okay.
raw damage.
So, I'll take the... Oh, and we have no momentum.
Determination?
Well, I think you still have to spend momentum to roll determination, don't you?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so that... I'm going to attempt that plan. I'm going to try to transport it off their ship somewhere in space and have it not near a sun and have it implode on itself.
Okay. So I'm also going to throw you a bone here. If you have Zenixia do this, because she would be in engineering, that would reduce the difficulty by 1.
I will 100% already thinking of doing that.
All right.
She is my engineer. So,
okay. So, in that case, Zenixia is going to roll a control plus engineering at difficulty 2. And the ship will assist with sensors plus engineering.
Alright, control plus engineering for Zenixia.
Oh, also because I just remembered, we'll say you use the restore minor action for the sensors so that you can fire.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I completely forgot about that.
Nah, I almost did too.
Okay. So yeah. She doesn't have a applicable focus.
Okay, that's 1 success for Zenixia. Maybe the ship can get you that other 1.
And the ship is engines, or no.
Sensors plus engineering.
Our ship, not so much on the sensors part.
Just gotta believe. Hey, there you go. So yeah, you with Zenixia, her, we'll say perhaps crowdsourcing the task using her talent, is able to masterfully lock on to the location of the warhead, dematerialize it, and rematerialize it harmlessly out into space, and destabilizes the control matrix. So after a few seconds, it just sort of explodes like a tribble infested by a tricobalt device. Extra points if you remember what episode that was. But yeah, that is Gamma's turn, and it does take 1 power.
And I will radio to both other sections and inform them that 1 warhead down.
All right. So we come around to the Ocassus, or the Susan, and they're gonna lock on, or attempt to anyway, lock on to the beta section because they smell blood in the water. And yeah, they do quite well. Wow. Okay, that's a lot of threat for me. All right, good job, Ocassus. Next up, we have
eulogies from everyone. All right.
Say again.
So, eulogies from everyone, especially Beckett.
Okay, I don't know why the Ophion should be like here. There we go. So the mayor. The mayor is going to attempt a helm action to get the hell out of Dodge. But it is at increased difficulty because we are using... it has so many breaches. So yeah, the mayor does not go anywhere. It seems to be dead in the water. And we finally come around to the final turn in this round for the Ophion. So, Alpha section, what you doing?
I'm thinking, do we want to move over to the beta section and give them some support?
That was my plan. I'll do so a single, not the impulse action, but a single helm action will take me to medium.
Yes. Maneuver action, yes.
Yeah, maneuver action. So we'll go there.
Okay, and it is a control plus con at difficulty 0 by Sona.
I got that. Oh, she's got
Yay.
that.
And then Alpha section assists with engines plus con.
Alrighty, that's fine.
Engines and gone.
Mm-hmm.
Have we scanned the
Hen clan?
to
Not yet.
see?
Not
Okay.
yet.
I've got one left. I can do that next turn.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Remember I said Sona can do it?
So I am gonna say there's a complication. Well,
We've ram beta section.
that could be funny enough to work. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna flip a coin. 1 says I take threat. 2 says I give you the complication. I give you the complication. So the complication is, as you move into striking distance, either Sona's being a little bit overzealous or she misinterpreted what you meant, and you are quite literally right here. And I'll move the tokens around a little bit so it's a little bit more clear, but you are almost like imposed between them like a shield. But if you were to fire weapons, at this point, you might splash yourself. And yeah, you would still get the 2 momentum though, which is the big thing.
Yeah. 2 momentum is good.
Mm-hmm. All right, beta section. Who haven't we heard from yet? I think we've heard from everybody but Matic.
Is Matic on my section?
I thought I was on Alpha section.
That was where I'd asked him to be since quantum sensors and stuff.
Okay.
He hasn't done anything, so if he wants to just be in beta, I'm not going.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like we skipped over you in player turn, so we'll say you're on beta. Well, let's help beta out.
All right. I guess I can restore power, or I'll just restore power.
Okay. That would be a difficulty 2, daring or control plus engineering. Actually, it would be difficulty 3 because it has already been. But we'll say you're in main engineering, so that reduces it back down. So it is just a total of difficulty 2.
I'm assuming my power system's focus will apply.
Oh yeah.
Next hand will move away from the vent engineering button on this chair.
Such a considerate Vulcan.
The ship isn't assisting, right?
No, the ship does not assist.
Alright. Difficulty 2. Eh.
Okay.
Alright.
You get a power back. Alright. So we finally come down to the last couple turns here. So the mayor. Mayor's not doing great.
Wait, hold up.
Yes. Oh, yeah, sorry, Gamma. What you doing, Gamma?
Redhead stepchild.
Pointy-eared bastard. I'll use my last turn, which I think works out good. No, it's Helm. Yeah, I'm gonna use sensors and scan the Hinclin.
Okay. So that would be a reason plus science from Mecturic. And that would be assisting with sensors plus science from the ship. And I'm going to say, due to the range and the fact that the shields haven't gone down quite a bit, I'm going to say the difficulty here overall is going to be a 5.
Interesting.
So it's not impossible, but it is very unlikely.
It's really close to impossible. Yeah, I'm gonna use one of the last momentums we have to give Turek 3 dice.
Okay.
He does not have an applicable focus.
Okay.
And
Oh, nice.
Ophion's got to roll a crit, or we don't succeed.
Well, you could give the Ophion a momentum. I'd rule you could do that. Probably can't, but why not?
For the Ophion, the secondary, the department was science, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I couldn't remember.
Okay, that's one success.
Yeah, because I can't roll more than one dice with that. So, yeah, I will spend a momentum, but no, I can't just give you threat to gain the momentum. So, yeah, I'll spend the last momentum because I really want to know.
Okay.
Here comes the complication.
Of course. Of course.
All right, I'm going to give you an option here because we are kind of nearing time where people might have to start go, so we will try to start, wrapping things up as quickly as we can anyway. I will say if you want, this can succeed at cost, which would be more threat for me.
Sure.
Okay. You do, in fact, confirm that there is a warhead on the Hen Clan, but you also, and I will, again, give this to you for free, the subspace carrier wave from the agent, there's another one now coming from the Hen Clan. And it basically says, get the shields down, here's my coordinates, please for the love of all that is holy, beam me out of here. But obviously in a more Romulan way.
Like, you idiots, stop blowing holes in my ship and get me out of here?
Yeah.
Or potentially a request for asylum, one or the other.
Okay, I will, I'll radio to the other...
I'm kind of glad we're going back to the Sabine Expanse after this, because I would not want to be the Ophion sitting next to the Romulan border after just taking on 3 Deredex warbirds at once and winning.
Just means they'll send 4 next time. I'll radio to, or I'll communicate with the other 2 sections and tell them what I found out. That the Hin Clan does have the warhead, and that the informant wants us to drop the shields and get him out of there.
How bad are the shields on the Hen Clan?
They've got about half shields at the moment.
All right.
And that will end my turn.
All right. So the next couple rounds don't really matter for anything because they're just restoring power and they're already kind of maxed on power anyway, so it doesn't really affect anything. But we do hit the top of a new round. So if at all sections of the Ophion, if you could give yourself, reset your bar basically. So give yourself all the dots. They don't get
more dots.
Yes. I don't see enough dots. More dots now. Let's see. And then that's orange, and then you out of the way. All right. I'm glad I thought of this dots thing. It makes tracking it a little bit easier. All right. So the Virus's turn. Would you have communicated this fact that the agent wants out to the Virus?
I think we would have.
They might have intercepted.
I was muted. Yes, I would.
Okay, then the Virus is very specifically going to target the shield array for a increased difficulty, but unless they roll tremendously well, they're not going to blow up the ship. All right, so they do in fact hit with their lovely disruptors. And wow, Jesus Christ. Okay, all right, let's do math here.
Might just blow
All
it
right.
up.
What was that part about? Unless they roll unreasonably well, they will blow it up.
15, 9 after resistance.
Yeah, 9 after resistance, so the shields go down again. It suffers 1 breach because plus 5 damage, and because the shields are gone, that's another breach. So that's 2 breaches total.
At least we'll be able to honestly say it's not our fault.
Yes. So basically, the port nacelle on the Hen Clan is out of order. Like, it's not going to be any use. Their impulse and warp speeds are probably halved at the moment.
Yeah,
And they can only make right turns.
venting green plasma into space.
So by not in use, you mean what you really mean is it's not there anymore.
Well, it's only 4 breaches. Sure, it's not there anymore. All right. Next up is the Hen Clan. The Hen Clan is going to do something rather risky. It's going to see the Alpha section there, and in what I would describe as a Hail Mary, the commander of the Hen Clan orders ramming speed.
Oh boy. Well, it's been an honor serving with you.
The good news is it's increased difficulty because of all of its effects. Let's
quick
see.
Little question.
Yes.
Ophion isn't under turn order anymore.
Oh, no, you are.
No, they
way
just get
down.
more turns right from the start
Right, yeah.
because they're
Okay.
larger class.
Yeah.
We just
Yeah,
got the
way
jump
down
on them,
the-
so we got to go first last time.
Well,
Okay.
players always go first in combat, so... Unless it's a surprise round, but anyways. So yeah, the Hen Clan does order ramming speed, and I'm just double-checking difficulties here. The ship did not assist. It is at damaged level, so all difficulty is at +2. Okay, so narratively what happens, and I apologize, I've been kind of skipping on the narrative here. The Hen Clan kind of soars at the Alpha section and completely misses, either because of Sona's masterful piloting skills or because the Hen Clan, the officer in charge of the helm, didn't feel like dying today. So they effectively don't go anywhere. They stay within close range.
Captain, place an order for 2 more of those for each section of the ship. 2 more Sonas.
I'll be sure to talk to Mr. Maddox when we get back.
Oh dear. All right, we come around to the mayor. The mayor at this point is just going to attempt to run. So unless they fail, they failed. Holy shit. They don't go anywhere. They again sit dead in the water. The Susan. The Susan is going to fire on the Alpha section of the Ophion. So, survey says they actually fail. Oh, you poor Romulans.
I mean, the Alpha section is like the tiny, zippy part of the ship.
Well, comparatively,
That- And the captain put on his plot underwear this morning.
yeah.
The Hen Clan also got in the way of the shot.
Oh, ooh.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good. Like, they're lining up the shop and then the Hanklin surges past and they have to abort rather than hit it.
Locke, it's your idea. Roll me a 1d100. If it's above 75, I'll say the Hen Clan is destroyed outright. If you roll 50 and
Okay.
above, it'll just get hit, and below 50, it'll miss. So yeah, the Disruptor Fire will in fact hit the Hen Clan. So for shits and giggles, we now roll some challenge die. Okay, so I've got good news and I've got bad news here.
And we have no momentum to try and save that operative.
Well, maybe not. I always forget. Do we start with a point of determination each section? Or
Each session, yes, you start with a point of determination.
Okay. Then I would like to use my value
Mm-hmm.
called a support network is necessary to one's health.
Okay.
To basically create the advantage so that I see what's about to happen, so I start barking orders to beam that person off the moment that the Hen Clan shields go down.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to rule that that is going to... If you spend your determination, that'll create the advantage. And then, again, mostly to help you out here, I would say using your direct action and having Zenixia do it from main engineering.
I'm on Alpha, so...
that would be Mirthrin, sorry.
Alrighty.
So Mirthrin.
Abilities that I have high scores in.
Yes. Control plus engineering. Total difficulty of 1. Can you do this?
This actually works out better for the operative because it looks like they were in the ship that got blown up, and so they can be moved in without cover, so it doesn't blow their cover afterwards.
This is true.
Alright. No momentum, so please let that 2 dice be enough. Applicable focuses, ship power systems, I guess.
I'm going to say no.
Oh.
All right.
Nice.
So also roll for the ship because it could matter.
Alrighty. Alpha section.
Sensors plus engineering.
Sensors plus engineering. Focus, yes.
Okay,
nice.
so you
Very
actually
nice.
have a total of 3 momentum. So yeah, again, narratively, the Susan fires, and instead of hitting the Alpha section of the Ophion, because the Hen Clan went in for ramming, the Hen Clan is hit by the fire, and in a twirling ball of explosions, the Hen Clan pretty much just detonates over here-ish, and is no longer. The Hen Clan has been completely destroyed. But the good news...
really impressive, because it starts to explode and then it goes... and the singularity just pulls it into itself.
Yep, it kind of makes a small pop sound if anyone were to record it. But also, you are able, at the very last moment before the operative would have been lost, you are able to pull the operative onto the Alpha section. So I'm just going to give you guys a nice little snail token for the operative.
Cool. And Mirthrin sort of goes, come on, finishes the thing. The Romulan, probably a little bewildered and disoriented, materializes on the pad.
Mm-hmm.
And Mirthrin smiles and says, Captain, we've got him.
Fantastic. Beta section, Gamma section. Let's get out of here. Mission accomplished. Inform the Virus we're pulling out.
Okay.
Wait, we got both
Raising.
torpedoes?
Yes, because the last one was on the ship that just got destroyed.
Yep.
So,
Can following the captain's orders, but still, can I scan the area where the Hen Clan blew up to make sure that there's not the warhead didn't survive?
on your turn, yes.
Okay.
The mayor did... I actually hit the turn button too many times, but it is the mayor's turn. The mayor is going to do one last attempt to hit Gamma section. Oh, that's challenge die, not what I wanted. Missing horribly. Missing horribly.
Get wrecked, nerd.
Yeah. So the Virus is going to swoop over with its helm action.
The Ophion is probably giving the Tal Shiar nightmare at this point.
Not gonna lie, it's kind of impressive. Okay, so the Virus...
See, we blew up their base. We've sent them sort of running with their tail between their legs on at least 3 separate occasions.
Mm-hmm. All right. The Ocasis. The Ocasis, or the Susan, is going to attempt to run. It sees blood in the water, and it's like, we don't want to be here.
Oh, wait, that's my blood.
Yeah. It will dump 8 power into this. So unless you guys stop it somehow by using, I would say, determination, the Ocasys will be able to effectively warp out of combat.
I'm okay
Someone
with
has
this.
to telltale.
Okay. So the Ocasys leaves the field of battle. And then we finally come around to the Ophion. So we start with Alpha Section, and then we'll move around.
Captain, we've pretty much won the situation. Maybe we should ask the Mary to surrender and offer any assistance.
Just to rub it in.
As much as I would like to, we should see to our own first. Locke, please just quickly. Sorry, Beckett is going to do the scanning. Well, Locke, scan the area. Make sure that the torpedo blew up with the Henklin.
Hi, Captain.
Difficulty 2, but I think you know what to roll at this point.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And how much momentum does... Okay, nothing from the ship. All right, yeah, you're not detecting any trace amounts of trilithium. Seems it went up with the ship.
No trace amounts other than the scattered particles from when the other one was beamed into space.
Very well. Sona, please prepare to disengage, and we will meet up at the pre-designated rendezvous point.
Okay, so mechanically, not narratively. Well, maybe a bit of both. Are you using your helm action? Or, well, no, you just went. So.
Yeah, I just went. I'm just being narrative here.
Okay, so Beta, what you up to, Pinek?
Well, damage not permitting, we will kind of roll and come up under the Alpha Section and reconnect.
Okay. I'll say Gamma. If you want to reconnect with the ship, we can just do this in one roll.
Sure.
The difficulty here, there is a difficulty though, because it is in combat. Separating or reassembling the ship is a control plus con at difficulty 2 by the lead ship, assisted by the ship's computers plus con.
So Sona,
Be the lead.
that'd be Sona's?
I would say yes, it would be Sona's.
So one computer plus con plus another computer plus con. Gotcha.
Control plus con. Yeah, well, yeah, I saw the joke. Sorry. I gotcha.
Okay.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da.
Okay, let's do control plus con.
It's all you need. It's all you need.
Yeah, let's see if the ship generates momentum. Because you never know. Is this the whole Ophion rolling, or is this just one of the sections?
Roll the full Ophion. I don't think it matters, but, you know, we have separate sheets mostly for power and shields. Okay. So, yeah, the Ophion reassembles itself, and I'm just going to drop us at a turn order here just to speed things up. So, yeah, you guys have full control over the mare's fate at this point. Like, it's dead in the water. You could probably breathe on it, and it would collapse in on itself. And Commander Vetu is actually going to defer to you on this. In fact, when she hails... she says, Captain, I would be remiss if I said I didn't want to destroy these traitors to the Romulan Star Empire, but perhaps the Federation might have a use for them.
Matic will speak up and say, well, the warbird that we were using to test our advanced sensors is a little older. This is another ship that it could be used for future developments of those sensors. Plus, who knows how many of these will turn on the Tal Shiar.
Very well. Miss Vetu, since I am willing, I believe that a I believe that splitting the prisoners in this instance would be beneficial to both our agendas.
Yeah, perhaps we offer them asylum, and any that don't accept, we leave to the tender mercies of the Star Empire.
Absolutely. That sounds like a perfect idea. Hail the Mare.
The Mari actually does not reply to any hails. And it's probably the reason why, as Locke just can find out via a cursory scan, its subspace antenna is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Communication is down with them.
Okay. Very well. First of all, Senior Pinnock and Beckett, well done. Beckett, please see to the medic. Ensure that triage is being appropriately handled on the Ophion, and then join us in Transporter Room 2. Miss Shatsu, please prepare a fairly substantial boarding party.
We could start beaming them into the brig and turn the holodeck into a secondary brig. Just kind of evacuate the crew that way.
Yeah, that would work.
That's one way. Are there
How big is the crew on a Deredex class?
That's a good question. It's one thing I forgot to look up.
It's a sizable amount, if I recall.
I mean, they're Galaxy class size.
Yeah,
so.
they're over several hundred, I think.
Beckett will communicate back saying, "Aye, Captain, I'll deal with the wounded. Check life signs on that ship to make sure that they're not deciding that capture is not an option."
Agreed.
Okay, so I gotta interject because it is important.
Yep.
According to Memory Beta, 1,500.
Yeah, that's far larger than our brig can hold.
Yeah, you know what? I think we kind of have to leave this one to Virus just because, we are not equipped to handle that many people.
Captain, we could take the senior staff off the bridge, aim for the more influential people who might have something more to lose, and then leave the Varus to handle the lower ranking individuals.
Very well. Yes. Prepare the brig, and transport, let's say, 10 life signs at random from their bridge into the brig. Have Mr. Quakenbush prepare a security detail to meet them there and ensure that they don't do anything rash.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Miss Shatsu, please join me as we go greet our guest in Transporter Room 1.
Okay. So,
Mr. Pinnock, as soon as you show up, please have the con and oversee repair efforts.
I will do.
And I will remind, because someone in chat brought it up,
mm-hmm.
Have the transporters disable any personal weapons that they might have?
Oh, I was going to be
Pretty
nice
sure
and
that's
say you
standard?
did that standard.
Okay.
This is a good point, though. Just out of curiosity, does anyone have to run, immediately? Because I've got about another 10 to 20 minutes of roleplay I'd like to get through.
No, I'm in no rush.
I'm good.
I'm waiting for a ride to arrive, so I might need to bail at any moment, but...
Okay, that's fine. Just give us a heads up when you go. Skull, who would you like to join? Pinnock?
Shatsu.
Shatsu, okay.
Pinnock please.
Okay. Shatsu. Okay. To meet your new friend, I thought I put a token in here, but apparently I did not. Alright, we'll reuse one from the Arcadia, because they're the same old species. Anyway.
That's just racist.
So, Maddox's gonna recognize the token, but a woman in Romulan garb appears, well, not appears, but is kind of waiting on the pad. And you see that as she looks around and takes in her surroundings, her entire form is changing to be something completely different. And Shatsu will kind of very reflexively kind of put a hand on her holster, but will lean into Skull and say, she's either a cameloid or she's a founder.
Okay. Greetings. I'm Captain Skull of the USS Ophion. I believe that the code phrase is infinite diversity in infinite combinations.
She smiles and steps down from the pad as long as Shatsu will let her, and kind of extends a hand and says, "Pleasure to meet you, Captain. I don't think I really need to introduce myself."
I'm afraid that at least some name would be appreciative, miss. We were given very scant information about who it was that we're rescuing.
Ah, well, in that case, I believe you will be best to call me Cam.
Very well, Cam. You obviously, Miss Commander Vetu of the Romulan Navy has requested you be beamed back to her ship as soon as possible, as this was her mission that she spearheaded, and we just came along for the ride. Are those terms acceptable?
I have no problem with that. I've worked for the Romulans all my life. I have no problem blending in with them again.
Just between us, do they know that you're a shapeshifter?
A cameloid, yes. In fact, that's why they hired me.
I just shrugged. Okay, that's very well. I'm pleased to see that you are in good shape. Do you require any medical or do you require any rest or medical attention before you are reunited with Miss Vetu?
She looks herself over, shrugs, and says, "I don't really appear to need anything. I'd take a bit of liquor for the road if you had any."
You have no idea. Very well. Please join us Please join us quickly in our bar for a celebratory drink.
Okay. And again, to kind of wrap up the narrative here, in a satisfactory kind of way, at least from my perspective. The cameloid known as Cam not only gives you all a treasure trove of information that would be pretty much, to put it bluntly, any Alpha Quadrant power looking at this information is going to very much believe the narrative and the truth that the Tal Shiar is pretty much gone rogue at this point. And Vetu, of course, extends a sort of an olive branch through all of this, that Captain Skull and all crew of the Ophion will be considered honored guests on Romulus should they ever find themselves out that way. And the very last sort of minute scene we have is of the Ophion, kind of an external shot of the Ophion as it kind of separates away from the Romulan warbird containing Vetu and Cam.
Before we separate, can I
ahead.
give a speech to our new guests in the brig?
Sure.
It'll be quick.
We can do that, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll go to the brig. A couple security guards in tow. Ladies and gentlemen of the IRW Mare, I'm Captain Barton Skull of the USS Ophion, and quite frankly, I never get tired of saying that. You are currently guests of us as prisoners of war. However, you currently have two options in front of you. The first is you can be treated as prisoners of the Federation. You will be debriefed and treated very well for the remainder of your lives. On the other hand, you have a choice. I can beam you back to the Mare, which is currently under the sanctions of Commander Natu. And I suspect that she will not be as lenient in your debriefing as the Federation would. You have if you wish to stay on board this vessel, simply sit down. If you wish to beam back to the Mare, you please stand up, and our transporter chief will beam you home.
So there's kind of and you would notice this being captain yourself, you notice that the commanding officer, at least by rank, does sit down. However, some of the subordinates remain standing. So I would say the ratio is 3 sitting to 7 standing.
Alrighty.
Very well. Skull to transporter room 2. Please beam the selected Romulans back to the Mare.
All right, so does in fact do that.
Very well. Our chief medical officer will be down shortly to treat any injuries you may have, and we'll see to your nourishment. In the meantime, I suggest that you get comfortable. And if you have any questions whatsoever, please do not hesitate to ask for myself or my first officer, Mr. Panek.
All right. So now we see an external shot of the Ophion and the Virus kind of separating away from this sign of battle, and the Ophion jumps into warp to head back to DS9 for debriefing and to drop off the Romulans. So that is, as you might guess, this is where we're going to end the session. Thanks, guys. I know we ran a little bit over. So players, stick around for a little bit because I did want to have a little bit of an, how did you like this kind of a thing? But for anyone watching on stream or on YouTube, well, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.